it is. If it isn't, it's big news. If it's a hoax, it's one of the more elaborate, well-known professional hoaxes I've ever seen.
Welcome to the street.
On the net. That's www.artbell.com. There you will find a link at the top of the page to something called EON4. EON-4. You take a look, and you tell me what you think. I took a look, and it blew my mind. Here's a fact on it. Art, EON4 is wild. I logged on when I saw your page this evening. The classified section is reached by an easy registration. Optional email updates available. The claim is, we've sent an explorer team at the invitation of the exceptions. This team has reached the vicinity of their world, but with the loss of the team leader. It's hard to know what to think of the site and its story. The line is something like a video game, but there's nothing to do but read and think. Woo. That's comment number one, and I'm sure we'll get more. Take a look. You let me know I found it. Hi, Art. I checked out the EON4 site. I don't know, but it seems like someone's sci-fi story presented in web format. And the Apple sponsorship adds to the suspicion. Still, even if it's not real, it's pretty cool. Thanks for putting it on your page. Mark, KSFO, San Francisco. Again, I reflect back on two 60-minute stories over the weekend that I thought were incredible. Finally, they're doing some good stuff again. The story on Russia was staggering. I'm going to Moscow in August, and after seeing it, I go with more trepidation than I had in the first place. That place is it's just disintegrating, actually. Now, the cruise that I'm going on is going to stop at St. Petersburg, and I'm going to go ahead and take it, which is beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and risk my neck and take the optional trip to Moscow, because I want to see it for myself. But boy, what they had on that show over the weekend. I wonder if you saw it. Also, the Turner Diaries. And the Turner Diaries appear to be the Bible for right-wing extremists, like Timothy McVeigh. There was a chapter in there about somebody who blew up a federal building, FBI building, with a fertilizer bomb by driving into the basement. This was in Washington, D.C. And it parrots or I should say, I guess, McVeigh's crime parrots this book almost chapter and verse, even down to the makeup of the fertilizer bomb. So they interviewed Dr. Pierce about his book. And basically, he would like to get rid of the blacks, Jews, and Hispanics in America and get back, in his opinion, what America has lost. I don't know what he means by that. I guess white them or something. At any rate, he says America is disintegrating because of racial mixing. How many of you agree with that? Said that blacks will become rapists, thugs, and cannibals. Unbelievable guy, and this is what a lot of people are following. Did anybody have... And this guy, by the way, is a physicist. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
Out here in the Los Angeles area.
Okay, turn your radio off.
You know, something's happening here.
Where?
Well...
L.A.?
Yeah.
What?
Well, you see, there's all sorts of news medias here, the TVs. There's so many murders. What's going on in L.A. County?
Yes.
They're watching all of these stations and everything. I cannot keep track of them.
I know. Thank you. It's not just L.A. It's here, too. Watching the local Las Vegas coverage. You've got to wade through the murders at the beginning of the show each day. And it's quite a wade. Yet they say crime is down. Does it feel like crime is down to you? Maybe it's just media. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Turn your radio off.
Okay. I have a comment about the Chupacabra.
Yes.
I was looking. I play Dungeons and Dragons quite frequently, and I was reading on your webpage, and I happened to look at the picture of it, and flipping through the monster manual, I found a couple pictures that quite resembled the drawing that was sent to you. And I was wondering if you'd be interested in seeing them.
Yes, of course.
Okay. How would I go about getting them to you? Because I don't know if I can fax them or not because it is copyrighted material.
Oh, well, you really shouldn't. I can't advise you, sir, to transfer copyrighted material.
Okay. I can give you information on how to get the book.
All right.
It's by CSR Hobbies, and it's the Monstrous Manual. And on pages 370 and 371, there's two creatures that are used in the game, and combining the two together, you've got your drawing that's on your website.
All right, I'll research it.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll take a look. I'm telling you, this Eon 4 website is really weird. I sure would like to know who is behind that. Ostensibly, Apple is sponsoring it. I don't know whether that really means they are, or whether they're just using computers. It's really hard to say. But somebody has gone to an awful lot of trouble, that's for sure. I really can't get over this Turner Diary business. I have not read the Turner Diaries. Have any of you? It apparently, the most amazing thing is, a Jew is going to publish it. He doesn't agree with a bit of it, but he's going to publish it. I think that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. This guy was frightening because he was obviously very intelligent. But then I guess in his own way, so was Hitler. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Art Bell.
Yes, sir.
Only Art Bell could pry me away from Michael Reagan, one of your competitors,
Nice.
this late night. Actually, I'm calling from Clearwater.
Shouldn't be too hard. If Michael Reagan's on now, he's repeating.
That's true, yeah, we do catch it on tape delay out here.
Yep.
I have a couple of theories on your little arts parts there.
Oh, yes.
Now, they say the now, you'll have to pardon me for ignorance. I did take chemistry in school. I had public education for you, but if the parts are aluminum, you say that they're supposed to weigh 97 milligrams, but they actually weigh 160 something?
Yeah, in other words, they did initial testing, and they did spectrograph, they did electron scanning microscope and all of that, and it came back 99.9%, whatever it was, aluminum.
Right.
What they call 1100 aluminum in the industry. Now, the size is 6 millimeters by 6 millimeters by 1 millimeter thick. If it's 1100 aluminum, it should weigh exactly 97 milligrams.
All right.
But guess what? It weighs 160. Now, that's damn near double.
Right. I have a couple of theories. One of them is that if this aluminum is definitely from another world, it is quite possible that in this other world they have a different gravitational density, different atmospheric density, so that when they work with aluminum, when it's over there, everything works like it's supposed to. But when it comes over here, it weighs more because our gravity on Earth is more.
Well, look,
That may be one thing you can, one possibility.
anything is possible, sir, or there might be something else inside, but it would have to be a horrible alloy indeed. They cut one of them open, and they said it appeared to be aluminum throughout. If that's true, and if the center, which I've authorized to be tested, one destructive test, tests out to be 100% aluminum as well, then they've got themselves a most serious mystery.
Right, that's why I come up with this theory. Perhaps maybe that could explain it. If maybe a physicist is listening out there, they could better explain that. Another theory possibly is that I also know that if you either take away or attach protons or neutrons or electrons to an element, their atomic structure stays pretty much the same, but there's a different volume and weight and mass.
Right.
And so you can come up with the same aluminum, but different atomic structure, and
Right.
so it would weigh differently.
Right.
Possible?
Yeah, anything's possible. I appreciate the call, sir. Linda Howe called me up this last weekend, all excited. She said, it just can't be. She said the scientists went back and measured the pieces again to be very sure of what he was saying with regard to their size because of the relationship to the weight. And he came back puzzled. So now more tests must be done. And it may be that although it's unlikely, that it would be just a bad alloy. But there was not even one little molecular piece of an alloy detected in all the testing done on the outside. So we've got a real mystery here. We'll see, and I'll let you know. But the story continues and the plot thickens. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, this is Monterey Dave, the economist.
Yes,
How are you doing tonight?
I am fine.
Regarding your last caller, the specific gravity of the aluminum should not vary according to the outside temperature, air pressure, and gravitational pull. The molecular structure will still be the same.
Well, you would think so, and you would think the elements would be identical.
So on Earth, it should be identical to aluminum 1100, like you're saying. But when you go to Russia, regarding another topic, don't go near Chernobyl.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's 200 tons of uranium reactor fuel that's been melted into glass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the heart of a monster, man. If you go near there and that sarcophagus collapses,
Did you happen to see the coverage on this last Sunday of Russia?
No, I didn't, but I've been doing some work in that, and it's just appalling what's going on over there. There's incredible things that... I mean, the Chernobyl disaster, just a little bit of that information starting to leak out.
They should have had a revolution already there.
Yeah, they should
Based
have.
on what I see here, this country should be torn apart.
Oh, yeah, and it is. We're going to be having a revolution here in Santa Cruz, in our marine sanctuary. We had a Freeman boater standoff,
That's what I heard.
And
A boater with a handgun, right?
or some kind of weapon, they said.
Well, handgun.
Anyway, like you've been fretting about with all your militia nutcases out there, what they're thinking, or you are afraid of, is they all come to his aid. Well, 50 boats surrounded this lone Freeman boater out there in the bay, and they turned back the Coast Guard. Can you believe that?
Yes.
And so they let him go, and they're probably going to track him down later and punish him, but at least he got away. And he's sitting there saying, don't come near my boat or it's going to be like Waco. There's going to be flames and blood and on and on and on. You're not taking my gun.
Well, I don't think they wanted to take his gun. That wasn't the idea.
Well, they wanted to come on board, and when he threatened them with use of weapons, then they said, well, you're going to, give us your weapons, and we're going to come on board.
Was he inside territorial limits?
Yes, he was in a marine sanctuary, and there was some dispute as to whether or not it was a Coast Guard jurisdiction. But the main factor is that 50 other fishermen's boats came around and surrounded him to such an extent that they outgunned and outmanned the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard had to turn tail and flee.
All right. Yes, that is all true. And at least the part about his turning them away is certainly true. So I'm sticking to my constitutional rights. Now, I don't really know what his constitutional rights are at sea, inside the limits. It seems to me if he would be subject to Coast Guard authority, that he would have to allow a boarding. I'm not really sure. I don't know enough about the laws of the sea to be able to tell you. But I do know he held them off. The story on 60 Minutes Sunday about Russia was one of the more unbelievable things I ever saw. I sat there with my mouth hanging open. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. How can this country not be in full-fledged revolution? And remember, this country, described on Sunday, still has 50,000 strategic or at least nuclear weapons, with many of those being strategic, meaning they can push a button and 20 or 30 minutes later, nuclear hell rains down here. So you've got to bear that in mind as you look at the condition of Russia. Elections next month. The likely outcome, a return to communism. You don't hear many people saying much about it. But Boris Yeltsin is way far behind. He may be able to cut a deal, but barring that possibility, Russia may well go back to communism beginning next month. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, this is Ed from California.
Hello, Ed.
A couple of things. First about the scientists wanting to dig up the bodies that were killed by the Spanish flu.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Not a good idea. We have enough problems, and if they happen to slip up, we're going to have even more. Like, I know there's a disease out here called valley fever, and it's not that lethal, but whenever they dig up an old body in a graveyard here, sometimes
I mean, they're actually doing this so they can get to the lungs of these people thought to have died of this disease and revive this virus. Revive the virus, and suppose it got loose.
That's it. They can say, well, you know, it's going to be like the, I think it's Andromeda strain type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you had Brad Steiger on Saturday. I tried to reach you, but I couldn't get
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, okay. He had something in his book, one of his books one time about the Forest of Lost Children. And that was about the Angeles Forest area here. About children that mysterious disappearances there. And he said, I believe, something about time warps being these mountains here. So if anybody could give me more information on it, or did he have an address that people could write to?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And no, I don't have it handy, but I appreciate the call, sir. The Brad Steiger show on Dreamland Sunday was excellent. If you want a copy of it, or for that matter, the Mitchell Hoagland debate, or anything we do with a guest, or any Dreamland program, you can get copies by calling 1-800-917-4278. That's 1-800-917-4278. With regard to this plan to dig up these people frozen in the tundra, with the 1918 epidemic that was called, I think they called it Spanish fly, flu at the time. At any rate, they say it will, quote, be done with the greatest respect and dignity, adding that extreme safety precautions will be taken so the microbe will not be unleashed again. I'm still not convinced it is what I would call a good plan. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Going once.
Yes. Hello?
Yes, turn your radio off.
Okay, it's off.
That's good. Now speak.
Okay. I just had some information about the Russian topic.
Yes, sir?
And I'm an environmental geologist, and I've done some research on the subject and had a good book for him to read.
Really?
And
Him? Well, him is me.
oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You're on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
So you're sorry to be on the air?
No.
Oh, okay.
Misunderstood.
Well, now you're at a break, so if you want to stay on the air, you're going to have to hold on.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, you won't hear anything during the break. Don't let it worry you. And by the way, yes, we do have Midian on this morning. If you want to call and see me do the show, she's up and running.
With the Premier Network. That was Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time.
Thanks to the caller who waited. You're back on the air, sir.
Yes. The book I was calling about is called Ecocide in the USSR.
Yes.
And it's by Murray Feshbach and Alfred friendly junior.
Well, it is ecocide going on there. Can you imagine 1 out of 4 children born with mental illness?
It's kind of frightening, isn't it?
Frightening. It's the decimation of an entire country. I mean, they are actually committing national suicide.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Kind of puts the environmental fight in this country in perspective, though, doesn't it?
40% of all babies born with mental defects, maternity wards half empty, 2 abortions for every birth, 800,000 more dying than born every year. Life expectancy to fall to, it's already fallen from 65 to 58. There should be a revolution going on there. And if there isn't one, there's going to be one. And when there is, I wonder what they're going to do with all those nuclear weapons.
Who knows? But I mean, I guess the gist of this book was discussing how the economy and so forth could not rebound because of these restraints that have been put on it. And some of the figures I gave as of 1990, and these are Russian estimates, were between 15 and 17% of the gross national product of that country.
Mm-hmm.
And 60 billion rubles a year just for environmental abuse. It goes on and on and on. Goes on about Chernobyl, and I don't know if you knew this or not, but you remember the pictures on TV. You see you saw the people in the suits going in and out, and the foreign minister that was in charge of, or the scientific supervisor for that site, stated that every one of them are dead now that you saw on TV, between 5,000 and 7,000. And anyone that was exposed more than a half an hour to that radiation at the site is now dead.
Well, I heard that, but I also heard that those who were exposed in a wider way, while there has been an increase in some kinds of cancer, mainly in children, that they have not had the kind of cancer rates they thought or expected or should have had as a result of that kind of contamination. But nationwide, I mean, forget Chernobyl, the real contamination is occurring because of pollution. So serious that 40% of the children are born with birth defects. Can you imagine that? In areas of industrial pollution, 40%, mostly mental defects. Their population is dying, their country is dying. One woman said, "It is democracy. It's killing us." So what do you think they'll do next month when they have the elections? West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, Art.
Hello.
Yeah, Art. This is Ed in Spokane.
Yes.
I've got a question about the chupacabra.
Yes, sir.
Does anybody said what kind of noise it makes, or does it make
Yes,
noise or anything?
they say it makes a very, very loud hissing noise, kind of like a jet plane, almost.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. That's all I've heard. Chupacabra reports coming out from everywhere. Art, I just left the page for Eon 4. It is incredibly well done. Too well done for something like it to be real. It's pretty interesting that the current mission commander is supposedly a space shuttle astronaut / pilot. Should be easy to verify. That is, if it's a public mission, I would add. In the image archive, I'm a little concerned with the quality of the images transmitted back from the sentient location. They would presumably be sent digitally, but they show typical analog signal degradation, lines, etc. I don't believe that digital signals would be degraded in this manner. Conclusion? Too slick to be the real thing. From Tom. I agree, Tom. It is very slick. That's why I put the link in. I've never seen anything like it. Now, maybe it is some sort of slick, weird promotion for a movie. Maybe it's somebody's idea of a joke. Whatever it is, it's very, very well done. Yeah, you'll find it right at the top of my webpage. And I suggest you go take a look and tell me what you think. It is a project supposedly going on at Area 51, adjacent to me here. It is supposedly revealing to the world that we have made contact. Go take a look. Eon 4. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Mark, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, this is Mike in Central Texas.
Yes, Mike.
Listen, I really enjoyed, I loved the Cornell interview that you did on Friday, a couple Fridays ago.
Dr. Purnell, yeah.
Yeah, really thought it was great. Has anybody called in about the DCX rocket yet?
Oh, yes. I mean, people have commented on it. That's a rocket the doctor said was virtually designed in his living room.
Yeah, anyway, they did a test on it on Saturday. Is I calling about that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And about the fire, and I just woke up Friday.
You just woke up, okay.
Yeah. So, but I think that's incredible. I mean, normally if you've got a fire and or explosions, that's it. That's it. But now it's become sort of a wink and a nod. Like,
Yep.
geez, this is how good our design is. I think it's fascinating.
Yep, well, that makes two of us.
All right.
Thank you very much. Take care. Yes, very interesting indeed. And I want to know more about that craft. East of the Rockies, you're on the air, top of the morning. Hello? Yes, sir, where are you? Baton Rouge, all right. Well, you're on the air. Turn your radio off. That's good. Get that radio off.
My name is Dmitry. I'm from Russia. I studied at Louisiana State University. I will graduate this summer, and I'm going to law school. And after I get my law degree, hopefully in 3 years, I'm going back to Russia. And I believe that the future of Russia depends on people like me, not the people who just can't take care of themselves and their children and their...
Dimitri, did you see 60 Minutes on Sunday?
Oh, sorry, I did not.
Did you hear what I said about it, though?
Yes, I've heard about what he said.
It is far worse than anybody thought. I mean, it's really the suicide of the country.
Well, I don't think it's that bad. Journalists, they tend to look for the worst facts they can find,
Well, they sure found some bad ones.
Oh, yeah, because, people in Moscow and St. Petersburg especially live very well.
Yes, I know that is true in St. Petersburg, but that is also because of the tourism there. The question is about the rest of the country, and specifically about Moscow.
Now, what about Moscow?
Well, they showed a number of the hospitals in Moscow. They gave us stats about how many Russians are dying versus those being born. There are now 2 abortions in Russia for every live birth.
Well,
how long has it been since you've been home?
I've been living in the United States for a year and a half, but my relatives, they all live in Russia, and I talk to them every week, and they actually are very optimistic. My father is a lawyer, and he says the situation is getting better every day. The business life is reviving, and many people are actually better off now than they were during the communism, especially those people who can work, who are willing to work. Unfortunately, that welfare system that existed during the communism era in the former Soviet Union, it actually destroyed in people the desire to work hard, to earn hard, like the people in the United States, they...
Well, yes, we know that. Believe me, we know what communism did, but it looks now like the election next month will bring a communist back.
Well, but you said that the Yeltsin is trailing Zyuganov pretty badly, but as far as I know, he's ahead in most polls, 1 or 2 points ahead in almost every poll.
That is not true.
That is not true?
That is not true.
Wow. Well, in this case, well, I don't know what to say since my father told me...
Mr. Yeltsin is in single digits.
Maybe you're talking about Mr. Gorbachev now. Mr. Gorbachev is really in single digits.
No. Mr. Yeltsin is in single digits.
That's big news to me.
All right, well, I'm sorry to be the one to have to give it to you, but it is true. And right now, the communist is way out ahead. What Mr. Yeltsin is trying to do is to make a deal, to put together some sort of a coalition government. Whether that'll come off or not, who knows? If half of what they said on 60 Minutes was true about Russia, that nation is teetering on the edge of complete disaster. Now, there's nothing like seeing for yourself, and I am going to go there, and I am bound and determined to see for myself. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Mr. Bell,
Yes.
my name is Elizabeth. I call from WSDR, Sterling, Illinois.
Well, welcome.
I called you before. How about Russia? My husband was in Russian prison. My father was in Russian prison during the Second World War, after
Yes.
the Second World War.
Yes.
It is absolutely true. Communism is coming back. My husband never talked about prison because he couldn't. He had terrible nightmares.
I'm sure he did.
And he told me, honey, remember one thing before he died. And communist is a communist, and he always will be a communist, and Russia gonna stay communism no matter what they tell you.
All right. Well, I happen to believe you. I believe that communism is on the way back to Russia. It's a sad thing. It's too bad. It's too bad that they've been unable to make the transition. I'm not exactly sure why it is. Why democracy has not flourished and reached the common person. I guess everything takes time, and I don't think there's going to be enough time for democracy or a representative democracy to take hold in Russia. So I'm very concerned, and I'm glad that I'm going to get over there and get a look pretty soon. I'll come back, and I'll tell you what I found. You just can't depend on news reports. You've got to see for yourself. And I will try to get to some hospitals. I will try and talk to some people who can either verify or knock down what we've heard. And I'll let you know. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. Jerry, Los Angeles.
Hi, Jerry.
Art, did you hear that the European Union is requiring for buying and selling a mark that you have to have?
Mark of the beast, right?
That's what I think it is.
Do you?
Well, if you take a look at the symbol of the European Union, which is a woman sitting on a beast. I mean, I don't need to have a house to follow me to realize this is a prophecy unfolding right in front of our eyes.
And so what are you going to do about it?
Have a closer relationship with my God.
In that case, you'll be in when the time comes, and many will be out. Right? Because that's all you can do. Everybody has to do their own individual thing. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello. Ruben. Can barely hear you, Ruben. Speak up.
Is this Art?
Yes.
Yes, this is Ruben in San Antonio.
Right.
Yeah, I had a few things to talk about.
Talk.
One of them was the Chupacabra.
Yes.
Yeah, I was with that guy they called last week. He was talking about it might be from Brazil, running down the rainforest, something they let go.
Something that came out of the rainforest, yes.
Yes.
Or the swamps of Puerto Rico, who knows?
Oh, yes, well. And the other thing was, you read the Bible?
Yes.
Hey, in the Bible, can you find any place in there where it says anything about dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs?
Yes.
No, but you can find areas where it talks about unusual, weird creatures that will be about in the final days. One might put the Chupacabra in such a place. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, hello, Art. This is Patrick in Portland, Oregon.
Hi, Patrick.
Turn off my radio here.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of things. I've discovered your show in the last couple of weeks, and it's a terrific show.
I have had more people saying that to me, that they found it in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, actually, I discovered it via your website.
Ah.
So, yeah, it's because it's connected with, there's so many connections to other websites.
Yes, there are.
But, yeah, anyway.
Be sure and go up there and look at this Eon 4 and let me know.
Okay. I'll have a quick look at it. Usually when I see something like that's probably fictional masquerading as true, I usually kind of...
Well, that may be, but at least take a look.
Yeah. All right. Just briefly here, really enjoyed the debate between Hoagland and Edgar Mitchell.
Yes.
Do you have any idea when they'll be back on again together on your show? Have they given any indication?
Well, Richard is now on the way to England,
Uh-huh.
and Dr. Mitchell has received some new material. So when he has digested those...
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, good. And second, regarding the death of Admiral Burda.
Yes. If you were a journalist and you got onto that story, would you run it or not?
I think I would, but first of all, I think this question we're focusing on now of whether or not they should have pursued the story and aired it, kind of presupposes that he did indeed commit suicide. Now you said you were fairly satisfied that he did.
Yes, I am.
I don't, of course, claim to know for sure one way or the other, but I, on the other hand, am not.
Yes, before you make an allegation otherwise, do you have one scintilla of proof that it was not a suicide?
Right.
Do you?
No, I do not, and I'm aware of that. One thing I would wonder about, I know they've been reporting that there were two suicide notes that he left.
That's right. One for the enlisted men.
Right, and of which a part has been made public, and
right.
The other one hasn't been read from at all, or hasn't been made public. One thing I would like to know is whether those notes were written in his own handwriting, or whether, on the other hand, they were typed, or perhaps written out in all caps, something like that. If they were typed, were they signed? I mean, I would certainly be satisfied if it was clear that they were written in his own handwriting.
Well, what would make me suspicious is if we found in one of them a paragraph that said, and, by the way, I cannot believe the innocence of the Clintons. Look, thank you. I have no reason to believe it's anything but a suicide. Now, what I am slightly suspicious about is that there may be more to it, folks, than we have been led to believe. In other words, there may be reasons beyond the medals that he wore. I'm going to screen some calls between now and the end of the news at the top of the hour. Again, referring to the 60 Minutes piece on the Turner Diaries by Dr. William Pierce, a PhD, a physicist, a man who has written virtually the Bible for the extreme right wing politically in America, is regarded that way. A man who believes that we should get rid of all the blacks, Hispanics, and Jews and get back the America we lost. A man who believes that America is disintegrating because of racial mixing. What I would like is somebody who agrees with Mr. Pierce. And so if you agree with Mr. Pierce and these two statements that I just gave you that are attributed to him, call me at area code 702-727-1222. If you sincerely agree, if you are a student of the Turner Diaries, then I want to hear from you. Everybody else, hold off on that line. I'm going to be screening calls during the news to get somebody willing to argue in a debate, somebody who agrees with the Turner Diaries. If that's you, call me now at 702-727-1222, and we will have a debate. Be right back.
The Fritz Back in Time continues. with Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM. More Somewhere in Time coming up. We're listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from May 20th, 1996.
It is indeed. I'm Art Bell, and we're still looking for somebody. I've had many wannabes, but nobody who actually wants to argue the point. 16 Minutes did a big piece on the Turner Diaries. Dr. William Pierce. They interviewed Dr. Pierce. The Turner Diaries are coming out once again. The Turner Diaries are a collection of, it's kind of actually it's a fiction that unfortunately today appears to have become reality with the explosion in Oklahoma City. At any rate, Dr. Pierce Sunday said that, or agreed, that his philosophy basically says that we have got to get rid of the blacks, Hispanics, and Jews and give back the America we have lost. Quoting 60 Minutes. He believes that America is disintegrating because of racial mixing. Do you agree with that? If you agree with that, call me at area code 702-727-1222. If you don't agree with that, don't call me on that number, because you'll just be wasting your money. I'm looking for somebody who basically agrees with those incredible tenets. If I find that person, we will do a debate. And for this purpose, I am screening calls, so it'd be an absolute waste of your money to call that number otherwise. But if you agree with those statements, call now, 702-727-1222. If you disagree, any other number will do. So, in a moment, I think we'll have ourselves a little debate on that exact topic. Should be interesting. Well, let us continue to screen calls here. Hello, do you agree with the Turner Diaries?
Well, I haven't read the Turner Diaries, but his point about disintegration I agree with.
You do?
Yes.
What about his point about getting rid of the blacks, Hispanics, and Jews to get back, quote, the America we lost?
Well, I'm afraid I didn't see the whole interview. I just saw the excerpt on the late night news.
Doesn't matter. I know.
He means forced, repatriation and all that stuff. I don't see any way to do that. I would just argue that we have to stop government policies that do things racially, and that's what I would say we have to do.
Well, that isn't what he said. So I guess you don't qualify.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. No, what he said was we should get rid of the blacks, Jews, and Hispanics to get back the America we lost, and that America is disintegrating because of race mixing. If you agree with that, then call me at 702-727-1222. And again on that line, you're on the air. Hello.
I have not read the Turner Diaries either, but I do believe that there's problems with minorities in this country in terms of if you take...
Sir, I read the two statements. Do you agree with those?
And those were?
Well, you weren't listening, so we'll just keep screening. This is why I screen for these, because either people aren't listening or paying attention or something. I don't know what. Again, on that line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi. I agree with him.
You do?
Yes.
And you're willing to argue them on the air?
You betcha, Kimasabi.
Right. What is your first name?
Douglas.
Douglas. Okay. Douglas, you're on. Hold on just a second while I find somebody to debate you, all right?
Okay.
All right, that's Douglas, and he agrees with the statements made in the Turner Diaries. Now we're going to screen calls and find somebody who radically agrees, and we will then have a debate. And let me see, do you disagree with the Turner Diary statement?
Yes, I do.
You do. Where are you?
I'm calling from California.
And what is it you disagree with?
I disagree with the racial aspect of it.
You do.
Yes, I do.
You don't think we ought to get rid of...
I don't think that they're the problem.
You don't, huh?
No.
All right. Let's find out why Douglas thinks they are. Douglas, you're on the air, and what is our other caller's name?
Curtis.
Curtis. It's Curtis and Douglas. All right. Be my guest. The air is yours.
Okay. What is your problem with the racial aspect that we're talking about here from the
There's no need to be antagonistic. It's not my problem. If you're trying to cast aspersions upon me, make this an ad hominem argument.
Okay, well, he hasn't said anything to you yet.
No, what he said was, what is your problem?
Oh, I see.
So, I'll tell you, if you're asking what my thesis is, I'll tell you what it is. It's Darwin's theory. 100 years ago, not only Darwin, but nearly all of his prominent contemporaries agreed that there was a superior race, the white race. And there's scientific reasons, there's all kinds of theories. Myself, before I read this just recently, I thought there might be some reason. And it seems to me that there could be many reasons. But one of the reasons is that the people in Northern Europe had to be brighter to survive. By comparison, in Africa, where perhaps the weather doesn't change, I'm only talking about the paradigms here, one only needs to learn how to hunt to survive. In the winter you hunt, in the summer you hunt, in the spring you hunt, in the fall you hunt. By comparison, in Northern Europe, in the summer you hunt, in the winter you die, unless you're a little bit brighter than that. I think by long-term action of this sort of activity, the weak got weeded out. This is Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. And I've studied the history of this country. There are some trends, and they are observable in the larger cities like Los Angeles.
Sir, it sounds like you have a psychological problem. Sounds like you have too much time on your hands. I don't see what the problem is. First of all, I'm from Generation X. I'm young. I'm only 27, and I don't see racism. I don't see color. You're from a different generation than I am, obviously, and you're a product of the way you were raised. But however, you're an adult. You're able to make a decision. You're able to know right from wrong.
All right, now wait a minute. One at a time, or we can't hear anybody.
I only developed this theory in the last 2 years. I'm telling you again, let's not make this an ad hominem argument. Don't attack me. I must be wrong.
I'm going to attack you because you have a psychological problem.
You don't even know about my psychology. That's an ad hominem argument. You don't know what that is.
You need to check yourself.
What?
You need to check yourself, okay? You heard me. I'm not stuttering. Am I stuttering? I think you have a psychological problem. First of all, I don't see racism in this country. I don't see why this country can't work together. I don't know why this country's taking 2 steps back.
I think the dominant words are...
Hold it. Let one at a time. Let him answer. You said you don't see why the races can't work together in this country. How do you answer that, sir?
They can work together in this country. That's not the issue. The issue wasn't can races work together. The question is, should they be sent out to make this country better?
Well, who's going to make that decision? You ain't making that decision.
The question
wasn't what race.
That wasn't the issue. Who should make the decision?
I think we're misinterpreting history here.
Quite clearly. Should they be moved out? I say yes, they should.
Should they be moved out? Well, you know what? You're not speaking any substance. First of all, that's not going to happen, so you might as well eliminate this. Shall we move them out? We don't have to.
No. He's really quite correct. That is the premise of the Turner Diaries, that blacks, Hispanics, and Jews be moved out of America.
I understand. I watched 60 Minutes.
Moreover, America's disintegrating because of race mixing.
I don't think that we should point the finger at ethnicity. I think everybody in this country is responsible for what happens in this country. We can't just point the finger at ethnicity. I don't understand why the human race here can't work together homogeneously.
Well, let him answer that. Why can't they?
Because the white race is superior.
Yes, that's not true. You need to get over it.
Now, why don't you read
You're misinterpreting history.
Why don't you read Darwin's theory? Why don't you look at scores and SAT tests?
Darwin doesn't dictate my ideas and values.
Why don't you look at the admissions test for the University of California?
Why don't you take a look at the Asians, Paul? When they want to get down to racism, the Asians are supposedly superior and smarter than the white race. So why don't you explain that away?
That was
blah blah blah.
Art Bell didn't ask about Asians.
Asians is ethnic, isn't it?
No, he asked about Asians. That's a fair question. Answer.
Art, your premise was, should blacks...
Answer the question.
Yeah, no, it is fair that he asked that question. I think it's a reasonable place to go with this discussion. What about
the issue?
No, I think that it is a fair question.
Oh, but it's a change in the issue. If you say I'll change the issue, then we'll go on to a different issue.
No, fine. If you can't answer it,
I can't answer it. You want to change it?
No,
okay,
go ahead. Go ahead.
The Asians do score better. Yes, that's right.
They're also ethnic.
They're what?
You heard me. They're also ethnic.
Yes, that's right. And your
they
point
fall under. First of all, I'm black, and they fall under the same category as blacks and Hispanics. I mean, Asians. You know
what category that is? They're a different race.
What?
They're a different race.
Excuse me, we're all the same race. We're the human race.
No, we're not different. We're not all the same race. We're all the same species.
We're all the same species. We're just...
Yeah, that's right, but we're not
the same species, but we're just different races. But I don't see why we can't work together as a collective.
Nobody said we couldn't work together.
You have a psychological problem, sir.
You're repeating yourself.
I'm not repeating. You're not listening.
Yes, you've already said that about 4 times.
Well, why don't you commit it to memory? You're not answering my question, why can't we work together? What's the difference? I think the difference is that you're a product of your environment. That's the way you've been raised.
We could work together, but why?
First of all, you're an adult. You know from right from wrong.
What?
You heard me. You know from right from wrong. You're not better than me or anybody else. Your blood is red. You breathe air. How the hell are you better than anybody else?
Well,
you need to explain that to me. I think you're misinterpreting history from your ancestors, from your plantation owners. I think you just want to make yourself feel as though you are.
You're wrong about
you're all superior because your ancestors slaves, black race, and blah 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 blah. You need to get over it, okay? You need to check yourself. You're not bad. If the roles were reversed and the black race was here first and brought Caucasians here and played them, then I would probably have the kind of ugly attitude that you have now. You see?
You know, your arguments in the show demonstrate
answer the question.
Your inferiority right there. What is the question?
Why can't we work together collectively?
I've already answered that. You mistook the question. Nobody said we couldn't.
You didn't answer it.
Well, let's try another question. Why is it that you believe the white race is superior?
That's what I want to know.
Why is it I believe that?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the scores for university admissions are a good indicator. Now, if you say, why do I think whites are superior to Asians, even though they get poorer test scores on the average?
Yeah, that's a good one. Why?
There's another problem besides intelligence. Genetic behavior comprises many factors, but the Asians tend to be genetically predisposed to herd instinct, which means they tend to be communist, which means they're not individualist. One of the things that made this country great is individualism. In fact, the primacy of the individual is what distinguishes our government from many other governments. That is, although most governments say what is best for the group is what we shall have, in this country we say, well, it's good to do what's best for the group, but we're not going to cut out the individual. That's what makes the white race genetically better than Asians who may score on the average higher on the SAT scores.
Yeah.
But I submit that they don't score on the average higher. What we see is that the higher scores are from Asians because they flood the market, and there's a bias because the brighter Asians come to this country, so it's a skewed distribution.
I disagree with that. You said individually. I think we can appreciate everyone on the spectrum individually. Everyone has the capability of being intellectually superior, whatever you want to call it.
Not everyone can be superior.
All right, we have now in America, I believe, about 14% of black population, somewhere between 10 and 14%, I believe. What would you say should be done with these black people?
Well, now there's the rub. that I can't come up with off the tip of my tongue. Given some time, if you ask me and to come back tomorrow night with a solution to that, I can give you a solution to
All right, fine. Then let's move on to the second one. Blacks and Hispanics and other races are intermarrying with whites. What would you do about that?
It's a difficult situation. When you have freedom, people have to be free to do what they want. Here's a way to handle that, though. The way to handle that is to correct a couple of the problems that our forefathers gave us. And actually, they didn't give us this problem. They're right of the You correct that by turning this into a meritocracy rather than a democracy. And that is, you allow people to vote by how intelligent they are. And that makes sense. Take somebody somebody whose intelligence you admire, who's widely admired for their intelligence. Maybe they should get more votes than a person who is developmentally disabled.
Wait a minute. You're acting disabled. You didn't respond to my question. My question was, how do you stop the racial mixture that's going on?
That is the way you stop it. Because people will know that if they are not as bright, they won't be able to have as much say in the government. So they'll be disinclined to diminish their intelligence by marrying into an inferior race.
Inferior race. So you really believe that?
Yes.
I think people that think the way this gentleman thinks are a very small percentage in this country. I think this man has too much time on his hands. I think you ought to open up your eyes and take a good look around you at God's green earth. You're missing.
It was only when I opened up my eyes that I developed this theory. For most of my life, I didn't have this theory.
So what changed it?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
I came to the Los Angeles area and saw how basically governments are disproportionately staffed. If you go into the United States District Court, for example, in Los Angeles, for the Central District, it's almost all black women. If you go into other courts in Los Angeles, you'll find they're disproportionately staffed by black women, sometimes other minority groups who seem to be in clusters. This is part of the group thing. This is part of the herd instinct, and it's not healthy. You also find out that when you have bad policies in government, they're widely followed by these people who don't stand up and think for themselves. And I can give you one good example: car insurance. A lot of less intelligent people tend to be more inclined to buy the insurance if they can afford it, if they can barely afford it, and they are insurance poor for that reason. But actually, poor people do not need car insurance, because if poor people get in a car wreck, all they have to do is do a bankruptcy, and they don't have to pay the judgment anyway. This simple truth is not understood. They think that they're smart about insurance is only smartly purchased by people who have assets they can lose by bankruptcy.
Yeah, but this poor person's theory that you're applying applies to all the races. There are whites that are poor, that live in a culturally dense area of Los Angeles. They can buy this insurance or whatever you're talking about and file Chapter 7 or bankruptcy. How do you explain that?
Well, you missed my point.
I don't think you ever threw your point.
Well, I'll tell it again because you missed it.
No, you need not repeat it. I don't see how it necessarily applies to this, and if it does, then as the caller points out, there are poor white people, Hispanics, and blacks.
Well, you missed my point, and I'll tell you what it is because you obviously missed it. The point is that those policies that you have to buy insurance tend to become matters of law in areas where people don't even know the merit of a free market system. This is the group instinct that I'm talking about.
What does that have to do with race?
Because white people have less group instinct than Asians.
I see. All right. Well, thank you both very much, but that's enough of that, I guess. And that tells you the reasoning behind this kind of thinking. Actually, that does it too much of a favor. I think it exposes the lack of reasoning behind this kind of thinking, which is absolutely wrong.
You're listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from May 20th, 1996. FM from May 20th, 1996.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. I think I'm going to continue this. Let's see if we can find somebody else who can defend the premises forwarded in the Turner Diaries. Seeing that on 60 Minutes, and this William Pierce, this PhD, a physicist, a man who should be, and I presume is, very intelligent, say these things, blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. His premise is that we should get rid of the blacks, the Hispanics, Jews, get America back to where it used to be. Get back what we have lost, he says. That America is disintegrating because of race mixing. If you agree with that, then I definitely would like to hear from you. And I'm going to hold one line open for people who believe that exclusively. Tell you what, let's try it again. We've got a couple of gentlemen on here. Number one is a gentleman who believes the white race should rule. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what is your first name?
Jim.
Jim, and where are you, Jim?
I'm in Michigan.
You're in Michigan. All right, Jim. I'm going to bring on somebody else now from the state of Texas, way down in Odessa, I believe. What is your first name?
I'm Paul.
Paul. All right. The subject is the Turner Diaries. Gentlemen, or at least the subject material in them. The air is yours.
Well, okay. Start out by saying that, first of all, I have to say that I believe in God, and I have to say that I think God loves all people, whether they're white or black, equally. And what I'm talking about here is I would like to see a society where everyone has the best chance at, good health care, prosperity, housing, that kind of thing. And the way I believe that we get there is an exact opposite direction of where our country has been headed. I would like to go back to the days of literacy tests. I would like to see, basically, it would come down to almost what we had in this country when this country was started was only white, male, Christian property owners could vote. And I dare say that if we had that today, that blacks in this country would be 100 times better off.
Okay, can I interrupt you and ask you something? Oh, where are you from? Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay, are you part Polish?
No.
Are you part Irish?
I'm European American.
European American.
Several mixtures.
So what gives you the right to say what should go on in my country?
Well, I don't understand your point.
You're a foreigner yourself. What are you talking about?
Okay, so are you a foreigner?
In our country when you're a foreigner.
Are you a foreigner?
Well, of course I am.
Well, I don't
I'm not trying to tell
understand.
people how to run the country either. I'm trying to say get along with everybody.
First of all, I
God
want to say
created
that
everybody. He did create everybody equal, okay? So here we are equal.
I agree with that. And I do not want to have a repeat of the conversation that we just heard,
Right.
which was low IQ and antagonistic.
The thing about it is a person, white, black, green, purple, or indifferent, if they think they're better than somebody else, then they're going to be treated worse. Simply. Okay? In my neighborhood, we have black people that say they're equal to white people, but yet they continuously single themselves out with the Black Entertainment Network and the Black Chamber of Commerce and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and this and that and the other. But, that's my question is why they continuously single themselves out. I look at everybody as equal. My brothers and my sisters. If my sister married a black man or a Hispanic man or something like that, hey, it's great,
Well, I'm not sure, but I believe that possibly art is mistakenly misrepresenting the author of the Turner Diaries
No, I'm not.
opinions.
No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
Well, no, when you said get rid of them.
That's exactly
That's what he said.
That's what I
watched it.
Yes, so did I.
Well, I taped it and watched it, more than once.
Then go watch it again, because in fact, that's what 60 Minutes said. Is this a representation of what you want and what you believe? And he said yes.
Well, I don't agree with that.
Well, do you agree that there should not be a racial mixture, that the races should not mix?
Then I guess half of me should go back to Ireland, the other half should go back to Germany.
No, I believe in freedom. Also,
I just think that I would like to go back to literacy tests and, the Pew Charitable Trust.
What you said at the beginning of this conversation was you believe whites should rule. Your words.
Yes, I believe that if whites were ruling, things would be better off for everyone.
That's right. White male property owners.
That's right. White male Christian property owners. I'm not embarrassed of saying that. I'm prepared to defend that.
Defend it.
Please. Well, look, this is the white male Christians, with their worldview, gave us the Constitution, gave us a constitutional republic of limited government, low taxes, and individual rights.
Yes, but did they give it to white male Christians only?
No, they gave it to everyone, including slaves, including blacks, who 11 out of the 13 colonies originally wanted to get rid of slavery. It was only South Carolina and Georgia that wanted to keep it. And we fought a civil war over that, and a lot of white men shed their blood freeing the slaves. And I don't make any apology to black America for that. Plus, you got to keep in mind that most of white America came here far after the Civil War. We had huge immigration into this country between 1870 and 1930, 1940. Huge waves of immigration from Europe. Most people weren't even, their ancestors isn't even in America during the time of slavery. There's no apology whatsoever. I don't believe in reparations. I don't believe in affirmative action. I don't believe in any of that garbage. And I believe that blacks would be better off if we had a government such as our founding fathers created.
Michigan?
Yeah.
What if say the Pueblo or the Cheyenne or the Indian nation got together and said, okay, everybody that's not a Native American, go back to where you came from?
Well, then they'd have to go back to where they came from.
They came from here.
No. They came across the Alaska. They're basically from the Orient.
Oh, really?
Originally, yeah.
Well, and I guess Chris had a whole bunch of surprises when he landed here because, the way I understand it is the Indians, the Native Americans, populated the land and they landed at Plymouth Rock and they said move over and ended up over on Alcatraz.
Well, look, you only have two choices. I mean, either you believe in creation or you believe in evolution. And
all right.
That's a whole other ballgame.
It sure is. Yeah, it sure is.
The difference between black
I know, but...
Let me stop you both. Let me stop you both for a second and ask this. You said you believe whites should rule, correct?
Yes.
All right. You also said there should be an intelligence test to vote.
Correct.
Okay. Suppose blacks scored or Hispanics scored very high on the intelligence tests. Should they be allowed to be part of the, quote, ruling class?
Absolutely, even blacks. As I said, I mean, I'm a conservative Christian right-winger. I am not, in agreement with, these racists, like these identity Christians.
Well, then you misrepresented yourself when you said you agreed with the Turner Diaries.
No, I said I believe the country would be better off if whites were ruling. And I said that I thought that's what the author of Turner Diaries was advocating. I didn't think he was advocating,
Then obviously you missed the program then.
Would you step aside? Would you take the same test that this black man is given, and if he scores higher than you, would you step aside and get on the boat and leave?
Well, I would absolutely let him vote and me not vote if I failed the test.
All right. Well, in that case, then you misrepresented yourself, sir, when you came on the program. I'm going to do it again until we get it right here. Is there anybody out there that agrees with the statements in the Turner Diary? That's what we're after. And believe me, when I give you these quotes, I am giving you an accurate representation of what was said on that program. Believe me. Hello there, you're on the air.
I'm not going to talk about what that man wanted to talk about. I ask you to ask any of your people one question. They keep arguing black. They keep arguing Christian. What group are they going to put the Jewish people in?
I don't know. Thank you for the call. Look, if that line now is for one thing only. I hope you all are listening. It's for one thing only. Somebody out there who agrees with the Turner Diaries and wants to argue that. And whatever logic can be mustered behind it. That's what that line is for. If that's you, call it. 702-727-1222. If it's not, don't. On that line, you're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to argue the point about the Turner Diaries.
You agree?
Yes, I do.
You agree that blacks should leave America?
That's right.
All right. What is your first name?
Dale.
And where are you, Dale, just out of curiosity?
Cottage Grove, Oregon.
All right. Stand by. I'm going to put you on hold, all right?
All right.
All right. There's Dale, who obviously agrees with the Turner Diaries. Let's get someone now who does not. If that is you, call now. All right, here we go again. This is Dale, somewhere up in Oregon, right, Dale?
Yeah.
All right, and your debate partner is going to be Shirley. And Shirley, where are you?
I'm in Oregon also.
Okay, two Oregon callers. You heard what Dale believes. The air belongs to the two of you. Subject matter in the Turner Diaries.
Go ahead, Dale.
Okay. Basically, I look at it this way: my forefathers, the white man came over from Europe, and they started everything that based this country. And they started the government and everything else. They got everything rolling in motion. The blacks were brought over here as slaves and to work on the plantations and the farms and such. And so as the Asians or the Spanish or whatever you want to call them. Basically, it comes down to the point that the white kept in control all the way up until the point of where the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and which released the blacks and gave them their freedom. Well, at that point, everybody seemed to start being more relaxed on the idea of blacks being free, or Asians being free, or Hispanics being more free into the community and into the people. But there was still racism, and it comes all the way up until today. My point, basically, and my whole belief on that is, if it weren't for them, everybody being more relaxed towards the freedom of all the different races and stuff, the United States would be more in control. I believe that they should all be put back. That's what makes Africans from Africa and Asians from Asia and so on and so forth. It was the white males who got the guts to come over here.
In other words, everybody black or Asian or whatever ought to be sent home, right?
That's right.
Okay, I hear you. And where would you go home to?
Well, my forefathers came over to this country from England.
And mine came from England and Ireland and Scotland and Wales and France and etc. But one of us missed the boat. One of us missed the boat when it came over here. So I belong here more than you belong here. My point is that it has been probably the white race that has gone so far with technology that we have made the smokestack, we have made the atomic bomb, we have polluted the rivers, the streams, the oceans, and after our alabaster selves have outsmarted ourselves out of existence, it won't be particularly the white man. It will be the wily, the wise, and the tough who survive after the white man and his technology has ruined the world.
No, where the point lies is our forefathers brought the blacks over here as slaves and the Asians and so forth. Well, once they started getting more freedom and everything started becoming a little more lax, them being in the community and them being in the surrounding and getting more open,
I heard you say that before.
Right. What happened was it created a population map, and with that much opening of freedom for different cultures, everything started getting swamped here, and that's where it started coming more abundant. People started rushing in over here because there was more openness, there was more freedom as far as the government. Everything was more relaxed.
That was wrong?
Yeah, but that was really wrong.
The freedom
My
was
grandfathers and my great-grandfathers came over here and busted their rear to create all this just so that they can let it lax so everybody else can help take it over? No.
That mine came over for freedom. Mine stayed in Holland for a while and learned some mighty truths from Holland. We didn't learn everything from the English. And came over here and busted their butts, as you say, to make freedom, to believe in our Constitution, to believe that men are created equal. And you don't believe that people are created equal then.
That's right.
And so I just think you have a basic.
Where my understanding lies is they might be created equal in a sense that they're created equal in their country. My great-grandfathers and everybody created this one, and I don't see where it's right for everybody to come over here and take the advantage of their creation and run with it. Why can't they do that in their own country?
Because this is their country. They were born here. Many people of other races were born here. And what about you? What about my ancestor who met the boat? This was her country.
Okay. So.
And that she isn't white.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not sorry. I'm just tremendously proud.
Okay. Well, I mean, more power to you. That's about all I can say.
Well, that
you know, as far as the interracial mixing and everything else, you know, if there's any interracial mixing, you know, send them too. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, that is just not right. That's what separates different cultures. That's what makes English English. That's what makes Africans, and Asians, and so on and so forth.
So let me get this straight. Anybody who is interracially mixed also ought to go.
Yeah.
And you don't feel that gives us some strength, some new blood?
No, not at all. Because that's what's supposed to make us different in the beginning. There's no reason to mix it all together.
Are you afraid of the mixing?
I don't see it as afraid. I see it as I don't want nothing to do with it.
Well, you don't have to.
To me, it makes me sick. You know,
well,
I can't see the comprehension of it.
You have a virus. I feel sorry for you. You said that. I do. I truly do.
No,
I think you're missing the big picture.
Listen, you two. I've got a news break coming up.
Okay, I'm through.
I think we are.
Okay.
And so I thank you both. And I rather think that perhaps we all have a virus. And as you all know, not one virus has yet been cured.
We'll be back. This is Premier Networks. That was Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time.
Like this, hush-hush, as it seems to have been, It does sound quite sci-fi. It'd be fantastic to actually make contact with an alien race. Couldn't help but think of the original War of the Worlds broadcast the whole time I was reading. I would like to know your opinion, Art. What do you think of it? Do you think it's real? Really? Bruce and Denver. Bruce, I have serious doubts. All I know is, when I ran into it, I was shocked. The slickness of it, the obvious size of it, the money that had to go behind it, all of it hit me, and I felt that that's why we put in the link. I wanted the audience to take a look at it. For all I know, it's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of promo for a movie or something. But what if it's real? So what do I really think? I don't know. It was so slickly done that I just wanted you guys to take a look at it. So far, what everybody who's looking is saying is holy smokes and wow and things like that. So you take a look and let me know. There's a link from my page. You go to my webpage. It's EON-4, EON-4. And it is the damnedest thing you've ever seen. You can get to it from my webpage. Go to www.artbell.com. And from there, you'll see a link. Jump over, take a look. It, I guarantee, will blow your mind. Wildcard Line, you're on the air.
Yeah, the guy that was bringing up the subject about the Indians and how we pushed them around was a long overdue subject. It was kind of ironic how everything pretty well originated from Europe, but one time Alaska and Russia was connected. Saying that we are all supposed to be one, we have I guess what I want to say is this country is pretty well composed of an example of what the world is like. It's a very warlike species we are. We've come a long ways since the barbaric times when the Vikings and the Danes were plundering and
well, you couldn't tell it by the last 2 hours.
Well, it typifies the human nature. What I mean by we've become more civilized, we have football games and the like instead of gladiators. If we survive long enough to get a little bit better, we better be real nice to the aliens when they land and not ask them for their green card or shoot at them because their technology is going to be so much more superior than ours.
All right, sir. Well, I guarantee we will shoot at them. I absolutely guarantee it. Saucer came down, we would shoot at them. How much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet? We would fill them so full of lead, they couldn't get back to their spaceship. They'd be weighed down in lead. This story just in from LA. A 14-year-old girl faces attempted murder charges for allegedly putting, get this, rubbing alcohol in her 9-month-old brother's formula. Los Angeles police arrested the girl Friday evening at the family's residence, and I won't give the street, in Los Angeles. The baby vomited the tainted formula, was taken to Martin Luther King Jr. Drew Medical Center, where he was in stable condition on Saturday. The teenager had been asked to prepare the baby's formula by the mom, who then unwittingly fed the toxic mixture to the baby. Police said they don't know why the girl, who is in custody right now at a juvenile detention center, might have done such a thing. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Would have been. Wildcard Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Oh, good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm not for, this is Mike from Glendale.
Yes, Mike.
790.
KBC.
How you doing?
Fine.
I was going to say, I'm not for stringing up non-whites with a rope, and I think that that guy needs to seek psychiatric attention. But, I'm not for denying the color of my skin either. And it's interesting that everybody who talks against, discussing it, I see...
Nobody is asking you to be in denial.
Well, I think
I know of.
I heard everybody talking. It was like, I look at all the other ethnic groups in America, and they talk about themselves, Cinco de Mayo or Martin Luther King Day. It's like, the black people in America, they are a people. The Mexican Americans, they are a people. Their own culture. Now, I don't see anybody in the white community saying, we are a people. We have to, and we have to recognize that, we are a people in this country, whether we like it or not, and just trying to just pass it off as an individual thing, like, well, I'm just a white individual. I've got nothing to do with anybody else, except for on an individual basis, while every other culture runs around saying, we are a people. I think that's insane, and I think that's what's bringing this country down, and it's not being against anybody, in my view.
All right, well, look, there is nothing wrong with being proud of your race. Nothing wrong with it. I'm very happy being a white person. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with is the hatred in this country right now. There's more of it, not less. That's what the last couple of hours showed. And sadly, I could have gone on and on and on. Believe me, I could have gone on. There's so much hatred. There's more, not less. We are supposed to be advancing and raising our consciousness in this country. I see, I'm sorry, evidence that it's going the other way. What I call the quickening. And if the last 2 hours didn't prove it, I don't know what will. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello?
Hello.
You're on the air.
I'm on the air.
On the air? Isn't that what you wanted?
Yes.
Good. Then you have succeeded. You're on the air.
Oh my God. Okay. My name is Beverly.
Hi, Beverly.
Hi. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
KBEQ.
No, KCMO.
KCMO.
Attitude.
With an attitude, yeah. Well, that's kind of like what I've got. I guess it would be just black. Not Jews or not Hispanics.
No, you've got an attitude just about blacks?
Yeah, because
What is your attitude, dear?
Well, I sort of tried to deny it for a while, but I've been robbed several times and at gunpoint and beaten over the head with a gun and my money taken, and I had to have metal staples put in my head to close the wounds. My parents have been robbed and, their house cleaned out several times, and they were black, and I kind of have this problem that maybe, in most prisons, they're sort of pretty much full.
Disproportionate number of blacks?
I think so. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's exactly true.
What would your solution be?
I don't know that I have one, really. I mean, I'm sort of,
Well, I don't think that's the kind of attitude KCMO's talking about.
I don't think that people should be strung up, though.
You don't?
Or put out of the country, but I think there's a definite problem.
Well, there's a problem, certainly with crime, yes. There's no question about it. But again, so that we don't mix this up, I don't think that was the kind of attitude KCMO meant. When it's talk with attitude. Well, we'll just keep moving. You're on the air, Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. Good morning.
Hi, Art. I'm just calling to see what your fax number is.
My fax number?
Yeah.
Area code 702 727 8499. 8499. And there is a 3-page limit.
Yeah, I know. Okay, thanks.
All right.
Love your show.
Thank you. You're welcome. See you later. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Well, I've been listening, and I am shaking my head.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, this is Mike in Blair, Nebraska.
Yes, Mike.
Not only is the hate scary, it's hate that calls itself true Christian that is really scary.
I know. And there's more of it. There's more of it, arguably, today than there was 5 years ago.
Well, I think so. And I'll tell you, this guy, like the guy you had on debating several people,
calling himself the true Christian.
Oh, yes.
I don't see how he doesn't get the Christ message of unconditional love. Unconditional, meaning no condition of what religion you are.
No, I think his conditional love is that he would love to have people go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, and to suggest hanging people,
oh, yes,
even his white brethren, because they sympathize with
that's right, the Day of the Rope it was called.
Yes, and Christ would never align with any kind of thinking like that. And it's an insult to the people who are Christians that this guy comes on and calls himself a true Christian. I think it's just really, really scariest thing out there.
And everybody says they're a true Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people come on the air and say, well, you know, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a real one?
Yeah, that's right. You're right. And
everybody's a constitutionalist.
Well, and I tell you, I've had a lot of spiritual growth myself in recent years. 4 years ago, my 16-year-old son was killed in an accident. And from that, though, I have gained so much knowledge of the other side, the spirit world, and what true unconditional love is. And I think Brad Steiger was talking how there is more good in the world, which welcomes more evil and more hate. And I think as there is more love in the world, there's also more hatred in the world.
I believe there is. Thank you, my friend. Take care. The amount of hatred in the world gives me, actually, it gives me sorrow. That's all I can say. I'm sad about it. I wouldn't even say I'm angry about it. The proper emotion is sadness. Just sad about it. Now, maybe on a different day I'll feel a little better. I don't know. But listening to this just makes me sad. Doesn't even make me angry. It just makes me very, very sad. Because I know we're gone. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, Leonard. I'm calling from me.
Hello, Leonard.
How you doing?
All right.
Good. I'd just like to comment on the subject that's been kind of kicked around here the last couple of hours.
Sure.
With this Turner Diary thing and whatnot. I'm a Black American, and I'd just like to kind of bring another angle to this discussion because a lot's been said, but there's a lot that really hadn't been said.
Oh, there's a lot that hasn't been said. You're right. You know what I would like to do? I'd like to find another one of these guys and let you debate them. Would you like to do that?
Well, I'd be pleased to do that.
Would you?
Absolutely.
All right, good. It's our nickel. Hold on. I'll put you on hold. All right. Let's do it again. This is what spontaneous radio, I think, is all about. Let's have ourselves another skinhead. Do we have another skinhead out there? We open the line for that. Area code 702-727-1222. Let's have ourselves another white supremacist, shall we? Area code 702-727-1222. And if we can get somebody else who feels that way, we'll do yet one more debate. Have you seen the new $100 bills? Ugly. Very ugly. But unfortunately, that's not the main problem. Looks as though we've got one for domestic consumption and one for international consumption. Now, why do you suppose they might do that? Well, there's a good reason. If you do the numbers and you look at the debt, even with the deficit ostensibly cut in half, as the president would brag, we continue to mount more debt all the time. A lot of Americans don't know that. They think, why, the president's really turned it around. debt's still going up, and it is gigantic. The interest on the debt will soon consume all the money that we have, that we might use for anything else. Imagine that. Then what? What are we going to do? Well, a lot of people believe there's going to be a devaluation. You want to know the rest of the story about the currency change? We will send it to you for free, without obligation. Call 1-800-877-9799. It's 1-800-877-9799, North American Trading. Now, let's do a little searching on the telephone here and see what we can find. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, are you a white supremacist?
I am.
Turn your radio off, please.
Okay.
Give us your first name.
Rick?
Rick. And roughly where are you, Rick?
Los Angeles.
L.A. All right. Here is, and I'm sorry, sir, I forgot your first name.
Leonard.
Leonard, up in Alaska.
Right.
Alaska and L.A. You're both on the air.
Yeah, Rick, what is it that you believe that makes white people so much that, you know, you should run everything and that no other people should be involved in the workings of this world?
I believe that everybody is different. We have our different ethical backgrounds, and I don't believe that you're supposed to hate somebody because they're white. And you know that's how it is in this country.
Well, if I understand correctly, you hate people because they're black. I mean, if you're a white supremacist.
I see there is a difference between us.
But is not difference. I mean, difference is what makes this world as beautiful as it is. If everything was one color, then, you know, we'd all be blind.
I would have no problem with them if we were all equal.
No, I'm talking about being blind and all things being one color.
No, it can't be that way.
Well, it can't be that way. I mean, because it takes all kinds to make this world what it is. I mean, if you look at World War II and what happened with the Allied effort, I mean, there were people down in Solomon Islands, down in Australia, the Aborigines. I mean, you had people all over, I mean, doing different things to try and make this place livable for all people, not just one people.
Why do you want to insist on mashing us together?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've got a break coming up, and I'll hold both of you over. Can you both stay?
Yeah, sure.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Both of you stay right there, and we'll be right back. This should be interesting. Boy, it's some country we've got on our hands today, isn't it?
This is Premier Network. That was Art Bell hosting Coast to Coast AM on this Somewhere in Time.
White men's jobs, their women, and even part of their country, but they won't change their hateful ways. PSAs don't seem to help either. They're closed-minded and intolerant, and it can't be tolerated. After hearing this show tonight, it seems like total extermination of the white race is the only solution for racism, bigotry, and anti-Semitism. Do you see any other way? The Jews have the right idea. Are we ready to fire up the ovens? Buenos dias, Pedro. From Alaska and L.A., you're back on the air again.
Yeah, you started to make a statement there. I'd like for you to go ahead and make your point. Hello?
Are you there, caller? Oh, you know what? I think he took off. He took off. So why don't you go ahead and say what you want to say?
You know,
what makes America great is we got the best of all that this world has to offer. They got the best from every country, in creation. And that's what makes America great. And, for folks to have this self-righteous idea that, it's all because of them and because of something that their father or grandfather might have done, that's what made America. No, I mean, Pocahontas, when she showed love for John Ross and all of the other people that she helped, I mean, she was an Indian. She was different. And, when we work together, when America comes together, I mean, there's nothing on this planet that's better.
Yeah, the last good example of that was World War II, and arguably, it's been getting worse, not better, and I puzzle with that.
Well, there are people out there that make big bucks when they find people that just choose to follow for no good reason, and send their money in and devote their time for no good reason. I mean, it's money. It's money.
Maybe it's money, I don't know. It's hatred, and it's building, and maybe it is money.
Let's get right into it!
Money's at the bottom of most stuff, but
it sells art. And if you look at the bottom line, it's all about money. And if folks would take time to really try and add direction to what they do with their time, their effort, and their enthusiasm, they would realize, that, this kind of a thing, I mean, that's no way to spend time. I mean, because it's something that is not infinite. I mean, we don't have all the time in the world, but when you're young, like the young fellow that called in earlier from Oregon, I mean, he thinks and believes that, he's right, but when he sees the blood and guts that will have to be spilled as a result of that philosophy that he's espousing, he'll change his mind. He'll have a different idea, but it'll be too late.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. By then, it's going to be too late. Thank you very much for the call, sir. Way too late. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, you are.
Hello. Yes, Joe. Yes.
Yes, I hope that wasn't a wasted 2 hours. Somebody got something out of that 2 hours of debate.
Oh, I got a lot out of it.
Yeah. I'm black too, and I had to turn some of it off. I had to walk away. It just seems that this country's heading towards
I know.
It's heading towards a disaster.
I know, and it's picking up, speeding up, along with everything else that seems to be going wrong. This hatred is building. There are more devotees, more followers, more people who, if they don't have their heads shaved, they ought to have.
You don't believe in the right God, you're dead. If you don't have the right color, you're dead.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And if it doesn't change, we're all dead.
That's true.
Okay. Thanks for the call. Take care. First time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
I'm scared. That's for sure. I'm Bob from Aberdeen, Washington.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got a lot of Indian blood in me. And there's the guy you had on earlier, I think his name was Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And he had mentioned the name of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I worship that name, and it's been
it's discouraging because we have an assembly, and outside of our assembly, we have the name of Yahweh on it, and we were getting eggs and all this stuff at us, and we're not racist. We love every race. It's just, I guess, disheartening. And for those out there that, those skinheads, I believe biblically, salvation is of the Jews, and the Jew is not one of the flesh, but one of the heart. And there'll be people from every nation, all tongues, and all kindreds to make the kingdom. And Yeshua, or Jesus, he was a Jew.
All right, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I suppose when it all comes down, it'll all run red in the same puddle. I wonder if that'll mean anything to anybody. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
I'm speaking from Oklahoma.
Okay, Adrian.
And I was just calling because I was just surprised at some of the ignorance that I've heard.
You're surprised?
I'm surprised. I'm amazed.
Just didn't think it was out there, huh?
Well, the young lady from Kansas or Missouri somewhere, she said...
Kansas City.
Yeah, she had been robbed and by blacks, and I think she was concerned that the penitentiaries were full of a disproportionate amount of black people.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone from Oregon that thought that black people didn't want an education, or was it from Fort Worth?
Right, I remember the calls.
Yeah, right. And it's like they don't understand the economics and the fundamental things about education. You know, if white society runs America, and it's supposed to be a free country, I would think that it would be their responsibility to make sure that everyone got an equitable education. But as we know, that's not true. We have schools in America that don't have adequate light, water, toilet system. We have children going to school that can't even use the bathroom. We have black Americans that can't get a job. They can't work. They are desperate people. I think that some of those people need to understand that.
All right, thank you. I think in America today there are a lot of desperate people. Desperate about many things. Increasingly desperate. Increasingly short of temper. Increasingly uncivilized. In other words, what I call the quickening. It's all around us, isn't it? Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Artist Elizabeth.
Well, hello.
You know, I was thinking they won't have to bother with the gas ovens because the ozone hole, which was created by superior white technology, will be getting all of it. You know, white skin, a gift of God. I want to dedicate this thought to Jeff, the skinhead. All skin color on the planet is the result of two diseases. Are you aware of that, Art?
Two diseases.
Rickets, caused by vitamin D deficiency, if you have dark skin and you get too far north, and melanoma, if you're too far south and your skin is too light. And it takes only 2,000 years to change skin color. Skin color genes are the fastest moving genes in our DNA. And all skin color is the result of solar radiation and two diseases. I'm telling you the truth. Look it up.
I'm aware of it.
Also, I mean...
It doesn't seem to make any difference. It's not regarded that way by those who have managed to learn to hate on that basis.
Well, it's so ridiculous, isn't it? And the other ridiculous thing is that Yahweh, I'm reading from the dictionary here, Yahweh, anyway, there's about 8 ways to pronounce it. You know, they despise the Jews, but they not only worship a religion that was written or compiled at least by the Hebrews, but the word Yahweh is a made-up name. It's not even in the Bible. It was created, invented by Masoretic Jews, and then...
If we spent 1/10 the time trying to be productive, for example, going to space or going to some other galaxy or traveling faster than light, we'd already be in saucers. We would be the aliens if we spent 1/10 the time doing that as we do hating.
You're absolutely right, and I've got one final thought. What is the opposite of the quickening art?
A time machine to go back to 1955.
The opposite of the quickening is community. The opposite of the quickening, and I'm absolutely serious about this is my college major. The opposite of the quickening, this apocalyptic rocket ride to Armageddon, the opposite of the quickening is community.
Elizabeth, have you been reinstated or are you still banned in Portland?
Well, I'm still banned, but one last note, the left-wing brother,
Yes.
he did something quite remarkable. He's a local hero, and he not only defended me with a speech on his show and a letter to his brother, the right-wing brother, but he and the right-wingers put together this committee. Do you know about the committee to vote down Initiative 24?
I've heard of it, yes.
He made a coalition of the right wing and the left wing, and it's called something like the committee to vote down silly politicians who just want to grab our power committee or something like that. It's really funny. But I mean, he did something quite remarkable.
Well, maybe you'll get reinstated if you keep saying nice things. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Well, let me get my radio.
Yes, please.
I was just listening to Elizabeth dribble there.
Yes.
Goes to show what anybody can do when they open up a book. Anyway, what's the deal, Art? With I didn't catch all of your show, and you're talking about something. You have a link to your link on your page going to something about UFOs now. What was that about? I missed it.
Look, all right, just go take a look at it. Go to my webpage, go to Eon 4.
Okay, you said another comment.
It's a link up at the top of the page. You can't miss it.
And you said Eon?
Eon 4, yeah.
Eon 4. I did have another comment.
All right.
I was listening to your show, and I just I love how everybody dabbles around the point of the Bible having nothing to do with UFOs. Have you seen the? I'm sure you've seen the.
We haven't been talking about UFOs at all.
What's that?
I said we have not been talking about UFOs at all.
Oh no, I understand that. I was talking about the other day.
I see.
I just the first time I've been able to get through.
I see.
But I just love how everybody dabbles around it. You've seen the alien autopsy and the uncut version?
Many times.
And I would definitely agree that with one of your, I don't know who it was that you had on, but they were saying that there's two possibilities with it, that it's either a fake or it's real, of course. And
why don't we call it the alien autopsy, the director's cut?
Yeah, I saw the director's cut, yeah.
All right, thank you. The alien autopsy, the director's cut. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
When we face God on Judgment Day, we will be judged on our sins, not our skin color. And I believe that whites will be judged
yeah, but a lot of our
more severely by God.
All right. Well, I don't. See, that's judgment based on skin color, lady. Will be judged more harshly, one sentence out of her mouth, nobody's going to be judged on skin color, and then the next sentence is, whites are going to be judged more harshly. This lady is out of the left-hand world somewhere. First time, do the wild thing. It's 702-727-1295. Don't give me you're not allowed to use last names on the air. That's number one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So what is your first name?
My first name is Wesley.
All right.
And half black, half Puerto Rican. So I can take it from a Spanish side and a black side. I've been listening to your show for a few months.
All right.
I get I'm not really too surprised about the attitude that everybody has because I run into it a lot. And it just shows, because to me it just shows that a lot of people are ignorant. They just haven't picked up a book to really educate themselves. To say that one race owns the country and everybody else, we all come from different areas. And we all deserve to be here. That's what makes America, the great country it is. And to me, economics has a lot to do with the situation. It seems like when people run out of work or the jobs are hard to find, they tend to blame other races for the problems that they have.
Oh, we're good in America. We blame everybody else for everything.
Yeah, and, I just wanted to express my opinion as far as that's concerned. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it other than the fact that I can tell right off the bat when people espouse all the hate that they're really ignorant or they're really fearful, because eventually all of us are going to assimilate if we're going to survive. And to me, when you mix up all the races, they come out to be real beautiful people. Not to say that other races that, you know, like whites or Chinese or whatever are not pretty people on their own. But my experience is like if you mix races together, they come out to be real beautiful children and stuff
They
like that.
generally do. That's true.
You know, and the last thing I like to say is, as far as the hate is concerned, I know it's taught. And the only thing I can say is that you just look at the playground where the kids are playing at, and you can tell exactly that, you know, we're not born with the hate. The hate is taught and passed down to the parents.
Boy, it must start early. Thank you very much. It must start early. Because there's a lot of it out there, and it just puzzles me and saddens me knowing that there is more of it now, not less, more. For a lot of years, I thought it was getting better. Arguably, for a little while it was, I guess. But bubbling underneath, and increasingly so in the last few years, there's more and more and more and more hate. Racial, religious, economic, all the areas that are quickening. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Arbel.
Yes?
Hi.
Hi. Goodbye. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Guess what?
Is this Ardell?
Good guess. I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Get into that phone and scream at me.
Okay, hello?
That's better. Go ahead.
Okay. I believe that this all took place about 40 years ago.
What did?
The dumbing down of America, the intolerance, the fanatic liberal agenda, and we have absolutely no civility left.
Very little.
Our moral standards are below gutter level. I mean, you can go on, and that's what's happened. There's total ignorance, which then definitely you cannot tolerate through ignorance.
All right, well, I appreciate your call. I don't disagree with you. I don't know about the timeline. I just know that in the last few years, and I mean very few, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5, the situation has been worsening, the tolerance lessening. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know, I'm a native of this area back here east of the Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
I'm Bob from Tuscaloosa.
All right, Bob.
Art, we are in darkness, but everything will be all right because God did not lose his way. Now we're lost. It's darkness. There's confusion. But everything will be all right because we are all on this planet together. But everything's okay. But it's okay as far as God's concerned and as far as we'll be concerned out here in the future as we wake up.
All right, sir. Well, I hope you're right about the way it's going to be. I sincerely hope so. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with probably only enough time to get the honors. Where are you calling from?
This is Matt calling from Farmington, New Mexico.
Farmington, New Mexico.
Yes, sir. Listen to you on 13 Magic. Can you hear them?
All right. Well, listen, I'd like to give you more time, sir, but the program is ending, and do you know how to do the honors?
Yes, sir. I sure do.
Well, then, lay it on us.
From the High Plains Desert of the Great American Southwest, good night, America.
Oh, well done. Farmington, New Mexico, huh? And from the high desert in the Great American Southwest, I'm Art Bell. Something to think about tonight. Good night, America. For certain things, and of necessity eventually, digital communications are going to have to be monitored for certain things. We don't want people planting bombs and planning crimes on the internet. You know, let us go back to the original definition of freedom. All right? Freedom means that you are free within certain limits, and there are limits. Like everything else, there are limits to freedom. You are free to do this and or that, but you're not free to distribute child pornography. You're not free to plan or conspire a crime. And so the internet is going to have to be watched as telephones are watched, as the mails are watched, to the degree that things that we as a society do not want to go on, don't go on. Or if they do, they're stopped. So it is logical to me, and I understand that the law is of necessity kind of vague, and that ends up scaring a lot of people. But I don't think the internet police are going to be closing in on some poor little guy running a server or running a internet access, and something slips through. It's like every now and then. Even on this program, I've had a word over the years, the S word, probably the F word, although I don't think so. I think I've caught them. But, you know, every now and then it happens. And the commission looks at that. They went after Howard Stern. Why? Because it was a daily diet of objectionable material, what a lot of people consider to be objectionable material. Day after day after day. Intentional, repetitive, and to many people who wrote in and complained. So they went after him. And it's going to be kind of that way on the internet. If an occasional word slips, they're not going to come tearing into your house. But if you are a provider which specializes in the passing of pornography, well then yes, they might come after you if you're distributing knowingly to children or distributing child pornography to adults. I don't think that encompasses freedom. First time caller line, you're on the air.
It's not what I want to talk about, but I believe what the internet provider was concerned about is possibly that another area like the seizure law, where they...
I understand that they would somehow be politically unhappy with him, so they would wait and they would lurk and wait until one piece of porn came across his server and come in and get him, right?
Yeah, well, in the seizure law, they don't even have to convict you. They can just go take things.
Uh-huh.
And you have to prove your innocence. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was the currency. And all they're doing with the currency is providing us with something that's not easily counterfeitable.
Well, that is, of course, what they say. Sir, we're so short on time here, I'm going to try and grab one more quick call. Wildcard line, you're on the air with very little time. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. This is Jeff in San Diego on Google.
Yes, sir. The mighty KOGO 600 San Diego.
Hot talk. Yes, sir. Well, I don't have enough time to really talk about what I wanted to talk about.
You do have enough time, though, to get the grand honor awarded each night to only one person. You know what it is?
Yes, sir.
Let her fly.
Good night, America.
So well trained this audience is. Thank you all very much from the now dry or high desert. Good night, America. Blocking entrances and exits. Now, the UPS strike is certainly beginning to take its toll on the economy. And most of you are out on the road, I know, you UPS drivers, the route drivers, when I'm on the air. And so you're home tonight. What are you doing? What are you doing with your time? Are you happy about the strike? Do you expect good things? Are you unhappy about not being at work? Do you think the strike is going to be worth it in the end? How long do you think it's going to go on? You know, I've got a lot of UPS drivers that listen. It would be interesting to hear your point of view. The NIH, or National Institutes of Health, is saying that smoking marijuana can have healthy effects and that we need more studies. Interesting. The rover is to hike a Martian hill. It has already yielded much more information than they thought it would. Though there has been no great, now maybe I've missed something. But thus far, the rover has not yielded any great scientific revelation about Mars, has it? They've got rocks. There's definitely rocks on Mars. So far, that would seem to be it, though. Here is a very, very interesting story. Now, in an attempt to get a realistic reply from the alleged theoretical circle makers, who may be theoretical aliens visiting us, who leave complicated patterns in wheat that exceed human ability to make due to size and complexity, get this, a possible reply has been received in the very same wheat field, in a large, complicated formation, which is pressed down wheat that is in elaboration on an existing formation located near Britain's famed Silbury Hill, an ancient earthen monument. The existing formation, 3 weeks old, is a large 250 feet Star of David in fractal geometric style, with 208 smaller circles pressed in at appropriate points around the star. The star has an incredible pattern of laying down of what precludes human means, in our subjective opinion. The new reply is a similar star, but with another star in it. In other words, a star inside a star. The possible answer, obviously, the makers come from the stars, a simple reply, but perhaps the beginning of a dialogue with alien beings without using billions of dollars in radio telescope time. So in other words, they sent a message with, they believe they have received a reply. Now, Peter Sorensen, Dr. Bruce Maccabee, and a lot of other important people are involved in this. Really interesting. I'm just getting news of this as we're going on the air. And apparently they sent a message to those who would create this. And the message was returned. Now, what do you make of that? Peter Sorensen and Dr. Bruce Maccabee are both very well respected in the field. And we have sent a message and apparently received an answer. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. As I said, it's going to be just an open line. I've got a bunch of other stuff here that I might drop in. Do you think I could get a man in black? Wouldn't that be interesting? Would a man in black talk? I'll try it. So I therefore restrict my normal first-time caller line, and I hereby make it a man in black line. Now, what is a man in black? I guess that's what we're going to find out. Men in black seem inclined to sort of come around and threaten, intimidate people who have seen things that they should not have seen, have things they shouldn't have, that sort of thing. So are there really men in black? And if there are, would one of you be so gutsy as to call a national radio show and admit your presence? So if you are a man in black, and now I'm going to screen call, so don't just think you can come on here and be a jokester and The number to call is area code 702-727-1222. Everybody else needs to abandon that line. Because if you're not a man in black, you're going to be wasting your money. That is area code 702-727-1222. What a job to have. Can you imagine that? To be a man in black. Wonder how you get hired to do that. Do they go to college campuses and recruit men in black? I don't know. The whole thing, of course, is a giant mystery, so let's see what we can find out. About 2 months ago, it was 2 months ago, CNN was here, and one night we did a show, or at least a portion of a show. No, it was pretty much a whole show, actually, on why people no longer trust their own government. It's a very, very serious, profoundly serious situation. And CNN was here filming. And they're taking parts of that, and I don't know what parts, because you never know what television is going to do. I mean, they go away with hours of film, and they reduce it down to minutes of film that consists of what they want. But we'll find out. It is on WTBS, and it conflicts with Greenland. I can't believe that it conflicts with Greenland. So I'm going to be 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. I will be on WTBS. The program is called Topics, and I don't know how much or how little they're going to use what we did. Or you could even hear yourself. It will be repeated at 11:50 p.m. Pacific time, or 8:50 in the East. The other way around, 2:50. So I would think the time to grab it for most of you would be an hour into Greenland, 7 o'clock. And I will try and remind you of that as the night goes on. Check your TV guides for TBS. TBS, Mr. Ted Turner's station, the super station. And I'm going to be surprised because I have no idea. I haven't seen it. And I don't know what they have done, but we'll find out. 7 o'clock Pacific, that means it's on opposite 60 minutes. And Greenland. West of the Rockies, you're on air. Hi.
I'm calling from Laramie, Wyoming, which is right on top of the Rockies.
Yes, indeed.
You heard the latest audio about UFOs from the CIA?
Oh, yeah, sure. The CIA has said that during the 50s and 60s, roughly half, at least, of the sightings were due to U-2s and a Blackbird aircraft. Yes, I've heard it.
Yeah, I heard that and sort of chuckled.
I'm not really impressed.
And also, I wanted to let you and Linda Howard know, here at the University of Wyoming in June, the university reserves a whole week, sometimes 2, on the study of UFOs. Bring experts in.
Well, that's interesting. We'll have to hear about it at that kind of level. Good. University of Wyoming. I'm interested in this prop cycle. They have returned a message. In other words, they created a prop circle, and they got an answer. Now, these are pretty high-level researchers, this would be. And, I didn't follow one of them. It's tempting. Very tempting. They actually believe they have an answer. But what does that mean? They, in effect, completed a prop cycle. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Art. Vince in Chicago.
Vince in Chicago. Vince, how am I doing? I'm doing all right, but I'm going to have to ask you to hold on. Can you hold tight?
Sure.
All right. Stand by, Vince. We'll be right back.
Hold on. Stand by.
from the 8th of August, 1997.
I had a revelation. Came to me during this last break. Not only will I make this, and I've got my first Man in Black waiting. Clean Man in Black will be the judge of that. So we're going to make that a Man in Black line, a line for time travelers, or a line for anybody who claims to actually have a time machine. How about that for a combination line? Any Men in Black, any time travelers, or any person out there claiming to be an actual possessor of a time machine. I'd really like to talk to somebody with a time machine. I'd make it Madman, but I'm afraid his time may be up. Follow me. So it's going to be an interesting evening. Now to Vince in Chicago. Sorry about that, Vince. I looked up at the clock and I went, whoa!
Yeah, I'm Rico. Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Remember a while back, just to start out here, you remember the crazy glue incident that you had where you glued your lips together?
Yes.
I thought that was so bizarre and very painfully funny that for your new listeners, maybe you should replay that sometime. That was just one heck of a piece of radio.
Well, Vince, I think that not quite enough time has gone between the incident and now for me to feel it's funny. It was extremely painful.
I related to that. That was really funny. That's when I first started listening to the program.
Really?
But on a more serious front, when Richard Hoagland was on the program a few weeks ago...
You got any idea what it's like, Vince, to see a piece of your lip in an ashtray? Huh?
That's why I said it was painfully funny. It was funny in a way, but I really...
Why, Vince, do we get such a charge out of somebody else's misery? I admit it's true. My wife, for example, she'll get up and she'll walk through the house and she will slam her toe into something. And I will fall on the floor just about laughing while she is absolutely rolling around in agony. What is it about us that makes us enjoy other people's...
I don't know, but that little segment probably should be replayed for your audience because that was quite bizarre. I have to ask you about Richard Hoagland, his appearance on the show about the Twin Peaks on Mars.
Yes.
He was asking everybody to beg Ted Koppel and John Holliman.
That's right.
Have you heard anything from Richard about that? Has there been any response from NASA?
Well, as usual, with Richard, I have received some startling new information. But I can't, it's not up to me to put it on the air. I'm going to await Richard. So, yeah, there's news, but I can't.
Yeah, I really...
my lips are sealed as opposed to glued.
I think Richard Hoagland's really onto something. A lot of people call him Richard Hoaxland or whatever, but I'm buying into it. I really am. I believe that Richard Hoagland is really onto something. Another point here about Louis Farrakhan. I'm awaiting your interview, Art. I think you would do one heck of a job interviewing Louis Farrakhan.
Well, you know what? Since Brother Ali was on, there has been dead silence from the Nation of Islam. Nary the word, nary a communication.
Brother Ali was quite unreasonable with you that night. You were giving the guy every chance to speak, and he was somehow saying that you weren't letting him finish or whatever.
Well, I think that's what I believe that's what his expectation was from the interview, that I wasn't going to let him speak, and he came in with that chip on his shoulder, and that's too bad. Way it worked.
Speaking of Louis Farrakhan, wasn't Richard Hoagland at one time, or one of your other guests, that said that they had found a statue inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the expeditions?
Oh, yes.
And it covered a statue that looked like Louis Farrakhan?
No, they never said that. They said a black man.
Oh.
That's a long way from looking like Louis Farrakhan.
Right, just a black man in general.
Yeah. Holding in his hand a book.
Okay, you're doing a great job, and I know I'm personally responsible for at least 100 new listeners here in Chicago. Great job, and we're happy to have Dreamland now.
Thank you.
WLSAM.
Yes, sir. Indeed, WLS, world's largest store. You do now have Dreamland. And by the way, speaking of Dreamland, coming up this week on Dreamland is Bud Hopkins, author of Witness, Missing Time, and Intruders. Bud Hopkins, who is at his retreat, I guess I won't say where because people will bug you, but he's going to be on Dreamland this Sunday. First time caller line, actually my combination line, you claim to be a man in black, is that correct?
Yes,
it is.
You can call me the auditor.
I don't know if I like the sound of that, the auditor. The auditor, all right. What is, if you could give us a brief description of, like a job description, what is it that a man in black does?
Well, he looks around the field and sees how things are going, and then he reports back to the hierarchy. How it's going.
We here.
Yeah, that's me as an auditor. Those that you saw in the movie, which was a hurricane.
I didn't see the movie.
Okay, you didn't see it. That was a joke. That was propaganda.
I understand. But you're telling us there is no question about it. There are real men in black.
I can only assume so from the Facebook of Men in Black and the outfit you had on the other night.
No, wait a minute. I thought you just said you were a man in black.
Yes, I am Men in Black, but I'm assuming one, and they are not.
So you are, well, when you say you are the auditor,
yes. I tell the hierarchy whether or not their functions are functioning correctly and whether they need to be updated or not.
All right.
They do need to be updated.
I see. So the men in black are not human. We frequently hear they don't have lips, for example.
Right.
And they are biological, combination biological robot type things.
Let's use the analogy of insects. They would be pupae drones who have had some samples of human genetic material impressed upon them for the temporary purpose of executing certain missions, the hierarchy.
And as auditor, you simply keep track of what they're doing, their job, whether they're doing it properly, whether they're functioning properly.
Yes, and whether society at large is allowing onto what they're doing.
Well, the mere fact that I'm opening a line for Men in Black, obviously...
Yes, obviously, they need updating. They become so rickety and archaic, their files are so slow that they need a new paradigm.
So occasionally a Man in Black just like poops out and falls over or what?
Well, look at the description of them. As you said, you gave the physical description, they look like they were just minted out of hash out of an egg or something.
Yes.
They wear old, archaic clothes, they speak in still archaic language, they drive old cars and so forth. They're out of date.
So they're kind of like Commodore computers, the old Commodore 64.
Yes, I have one too, the Executive 64, of course.
All right, well, thank you very much for your call. I don't know if I believe a word of what you said, but that is interesting. He's the auditor, and they are out of date, and some of them are beginning to fail and not doing their jobs properly. How interesting. All right, I'm going to, once again, since I've got open line, I am going to restrict my first-time caller line to the following. Men in Black, time travelers. Now, when I say time travelers, I mean real, dial-twisting, lever-pulling, Orson Welles type time travelers. Not people who have gone in your mind, people who have gone in machines only, or people who possess or who are presently building a time machine. Any of those people can call area code 702-727-1222.
It's George Bell?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. I
I'd like to ask you about your grand experiment from a few months ago. Remember where you're trying to get the aliens to...
There were two of them, sir. We did it.
You were trying to communicate telepathically with the aliens.
And after both experiments, something occurred.
Well, I'd like to ask you, why do you think that you can read your thoughts? Where do you get that from?
Well, all right, fine. That's a very good question, actually. In nearly every story that you ever get of an encounter with a being, whether it be an abduction or a close encounter or whatever it is, in almost every single case, the people will come back and say the communication was non-verbal, that it was telepathic. And so based on that concept, if telepathy is the way they communicate, then imagine the power of millions of human minds projecting a single thought to them. I mean, it does make sense.
Isn't that from the lyrics of the Carpenters? Calling occupants of interplanetary craft.
I think I recall some song like that, yes. But no, we don't sing it here.
The whole concept sounded like he was like paranoid schizophrenic or something.
Really?
Paranoid schizophrenic.
Well, these are the kinds of things that we do here, sir. Paranoid schizophrenic things occasionally. But it's fun.
It is. I'm addicted to your show.
One paranoid schizophrenic, crazy, absolutely nutty sounding idea might be the idea. They said, that a lot of people who have come up with some of the very best inventions and ideas have been called crazy. So I guess it just depends on whether it works or not. If it doesn't work, it's paranoid and schizophrenic. If it works, it's absolute genius. Follow me? Yeah. All right. Have a good morning. And after both times, now you can say what you will. But after both attempts, there were occurrences beyond any shadow of a doubt. First in Phoenix, major sightings. And then, within days of the second attempt, major sightings in Las Vegas. So, say what you will. We're 2 for 2. Now, the question is, dare we try it again? I'm not sure, but if we want to try and prove that we are not paranoid schizophrenics who wear aluminum foil hats, then yes, at some future point, in order to establish scientific method, you need repeatability. Which means that inevitably we will do it again, and I will take the time. On my combo line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Marcel.
That's me, yes.
This is the Men in Black timeline.
Yes, it is.
I am calling you from a location that I cannot currently reveal tonight.
We understand.
Oh man, I got a machine here I gotta check.
All right.
There we go. You want to know about the Men in Black?
Are you? Do you claim to be a Man in Black?
Not only am I a Man in Black, I've also traveled through time as well.
God, you qualify on both counts.
That's how I got the but I can say it, and I did know your show was going to be on tonight on this subject.
How could you know? In other words, a year ago.
Yes. No, 1996.
And the only way you could have known that was to have traveled to this very day and listened to the program.
That is almost what happened. I actually exactly happened. And then I had forgotten about it, and then I remembered it literally a few hours ago.
That's the cool thing about being able to travel in time is even if you forget, presumably you can go back to whenever it was occurring.
I am prepared to answer any question whatsoever
Oh, wonderful.
Because here's why. I have new information that the last caller didn't. I also know what the hierarchy is, and I can answer what the hierarchy is.
Well, first of all, do you argue with or agree with the last caller's general assessment of the men in black?
Unfortunately, yes. And the situation has deteriorated to the point where there was an actual war last year near Rio in South America.
Really?
Yes, it was between the men in black and the women in black.
This guy's so full of shit. His name is Agent.
No, not exactly. What happened was that the men in black actually got out of control.
Well, now I see. I didn't even know that the men in black. Well, I guess you call them men in black, so they are men. And now you're saying there are women in black.
Yes, but they don't really want to come here. They're the ones that were originally they created the men in black, and then they controlled the men in black. And then the men in black slowly got out of control of just this planet. There are actually several thousand planets men in black are working for the women in black.
You're trying to tell me that the women eventually, in time, become dominant?
On Earth? Yes, yes. But
what is the general job description of a man or woman in black, and what differences in job descriptions would there be?
All you have to do to be a woman in black, first of all, you can't be from Earth.
Right.
That they can only be of the hierarchy. Right. The men in black can be almost anyone, except they have to be very loyal, and that's hard for anybody's life. But that's not always Mr. Rivers' speech then, like, what's his name?
Yeah, David John Oates, that's right.
He's not the Hall and Oates guy.
What we hear, what is the job of a man in black? We hear they are here to retrieve alien artifacts, any evidence.
Okay, first of all, the men in black, why are they here? The main thing is that thing that crashed in Roswell in 1947.
Yes.
It was meant to be. It was dropped on purpose.
Dropped?
First of all, back where it came from, it was stripped of all the high technology. It was filled with lesser advanced technology. It was brought to Earth, dropped here on purpose. Now, when this happened, it was made to look like an accident. So all the technology that was supposed to be developed, but could not be, would be acquired.
Distributed, no doubt, by Colonel Corso and others.
Yes, but the men in black were here to make sure that the United States is the only country that got the technology. That's why the men in black are here, to keep the Roswell technology from getting into other countries.
So the men in black favor the United States.
There's a reason for this.
Which is?
Is
it because we're so good?
No, not really. Unfortunately, they would have to support you no matter what. And that is because the men in black are operating for the hierarchy. And the hierarchy are telling them to help recreate the Roman Empire in the modern era on Earth. And it's been chosen that America should be that.
Well, I'll be doggone. You seem well on the way.
Oh, yes, and not only that, Richard Hoagland should be given some kind of medal of some kind.
You mean beyond the Engstrom?
Yes, because he has discovered the secret of everything. The secret is the 19.5. History is repeating itself every 19.5 centuries.
Well, how could the men in black allow Richard to get this information out? I mean, wouldn't they normally walk in and grab him by his whiskers and
You bet they would, but there is something that has happened that changes everything.
And that is?
The hierarchy has been taken over by a new leader. And she's decided that the information shall now be told to the world.
And so, in other words, the mission of the men in black has actually been changed by her.
Yes, and I can tell you all about it. If we had some more time, I can tell you. I can answer anything you need to know about the future or anything else. I can answer.
I can't possibly reject an offer like that.
Any question, nothing turned down.
All right, will the Men in Black budget allow you to hold on through the news?
Money is no object.
Money is no object.
Hasn't been for a very long time.
All these taxpayers out here know that. All right, then, hold on. We'll be back with a Man in Black.
This is the same guy, Signal 7. That's his name. Signal 7. What a piece of work he is. Welcome to the stream.
Who says money is no object. He can hang on. So I may even let the audience grill him if he sounds good. We're going to get back to him.
Signal 7.
Well, I'll tell you, you can find anything on these phone lines, even Men in Black. Anyway, I just got a fax. Art, here is the latest conch fractal crop formation you mentioned. Photos should be on the Connector website soon. A number of other new formations as well, plus at least 38 new circles now in Holland as of 31 July. And that's from Paul Anderson, Director of Circles Phenomenon Research in Canada. Paul, if you know anything about this, this is apparently an answer. The news I've got here, which references of Peter Sorensen and Dr. Bruce Maccabee, is that we apparently have received an answer to a crop circle. This is something brand new. So anybody with definitive information, fax me your phone number, and I'll give you a call. My fax number is area code 702-727-8499. 702-727-8499. And this is absolutely fascinating. Can you imagine that, folks? We may have received an answer. In other words, we, I guess, created a crop circle missing one piece or part, and there was an answer filling that in. That's absolutely incredible to contemplate, isn't it? But it does look as though it has occurred. So, there you are. Let's see, what do I have to do? I know I've got something I've got to do. Yes, I do. Here it is. And it's coming right up. And then we're going to get back to our Man in Black. If I think he really sounds as good as he was sounding before the top of the hour, I may open the lines and let you ask him a question or two. Back now to my Man in Black. Are you there?
Stand by. Volume reduction, please. Okay, I have to make sure the radio is down.
Oh, I see. All right, good.
Okay. This other machine isn't bothering you. Can you hear anything else?
Well, you know, it's funny. You said earlier you were going to turn that machine off.
And it's on again.
And it's on again. And there is a little background noise associated with the machine. But it's tolerable. Now, so there are Men in Black.
Yes.
And they're ruled by a woman in black.
Well, yeah, you can say that. I mean, she doesn't wear black all the time, but, more or less.
And the main job of the Men in Black is to...
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, well, you're the Men in Black, I mean...
Right, well, their main deal is that they were... The earliest creation of the Men in Black would have to go back to 1925.
Huh?
That was the year of the Leeds crash in Leeds, England. Do you know anything about a UFO crash in Leeds, England in 1925?
I do recall something about that, yes.
All right, there was this major crash. And believe it or not, that's where the world here, anyhow, gets television from. There wasn't much else left on that crash that could be derived from it. But you are aware of the so-called alien autopsy or the Ray Santilli film?
I certainly am. I've seen it.
Yes, I saw it about 11 years ago. Actually, I was seeing it in this time, but no, that's another story. The alien autopsy, I've seen a color print of it. It was taken 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor.
on December 21st, 1941. It was taken, I think, somewhere near London. And it was of the aliens from the 1925 Leeds crash. Now, how that got leaked out and got Roswell stamped on, I'll never know. Because the Roswell creatures, if you want to call them that, so we won't reveal too much. What the heck? The Roswell creatures were actually human fetuses that were taken from Earth at about the turn of the century. And they were grown on this planet. Of course, you ever heard of it, the planet Lanulos.
Say that again. The planet.
The planet Lanulos.
Lanulos.
Yes, it's in the constellation Taurus.
All right.
And it's about, let's see, how far is that? It's about 400 light years, but they can get here in about 20 minutes. 100 years ago, it took about an hour, so there's been a few improvements.
I can see that.
At any rate, there's no time dilation or anything. They use inverted relativism, quantum distortion field. It's very simple stuff, really. Anyhow, the crash in 1925 Leeds,
yes,
it was not from Lanulos. It was someone from another solar system that had no business being here. Well, everything, the technological thing was thrown off a little bit. Earth people were finding out a little too much. So the hierarchy got to thinking.
In other words, an infusion of some technology was all right, but it was beginning to occur too quickly.
Yes. And then they got the idea, well, we want to recreate the Roman Empire in the modern world on Earth, but we need it to be precisely correct. And then somebody got to thinking, they got the great idea. Why don't we scratch Rome, redo Atlantis? Atlantis had technology, so why don't we just make America like Atlantis then? And that's what they've been doing very hard. And one humorous note was what Teddy Roosevelt did in 1898. You'll recall Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders going to Cuba in 1898.
Yes.
Has anyone out there noticed that this is an almost precise duplication of Roman events 19.5 centuries earlier when Julius Caesar invaded Britain in the 50s BC?
And going back to your comments with respect to Richard Hoagland, he is then, in a way, an ally of the Men in Black.
He probably doesn't realize it, but see, that raises a good question. There's a lot of possibilities with Richard Hoagland. Could he have, in fact, been contacted somehow and remembers it and just didn't say because he think it might ruin his career? Could it be that he's contacted and is made to forget it, but not the information?
Richard Hoagland, with regard to his career, is obviously fearless.
Oh, yes.
I mean, we've proven that.
Oh, yes. He is very good at this.
Now,
early on, he was a little scary. I remember years ago, he scared me a lot because of the rapid rate he was developing. And it wasn't that I was afraid of his information, or even personally, I wasn't even afraid of it coming out to the world.
So if Richard had begun to move too fast,
early on,
the Men in Black certainly would have had to slow him down.
You know, it's funny, if they had been doing their job, unfortunately for him, he wouldn't even have been alive years ago. But they were so busy deteriorating that they couldn't do what they were supposed to do. And he was able to go on and do his thing. And when we got the new Supreme Commandant in Lanulos.
Supreme Commandant?
That's English. That's the closest English translation.
Oh, I understand. You're trying to put this out in a way that we can all grasp.
Yeah, maybe Supreme Commander, but Commander has other connotations, like lower rank people can be called commanders, or even a captain would be called.
Right.
For example, did I tell you what rank I was?
You did not, but I'm certainly curious.
Mission Commander, and very recently, just May 27th of this year.
Congratulations.
I really didn't want it. I'm one of the few of them that apparently gets loyalty merits by supposedly acting like they don't deserve the promotion. But in my rare exception, I really didn't want it because when you get promoted, you have more responsibilities.
Is there a choice? I mean,
oh no, absolutely not.
So you really couldn't have.
No, you can turn it down the first time. Then you have one cut time to
that obviously is a measure of time.
Yes, it's like the Mayan calendar, but the scientists that translate the Mayan calendar really have it all wrong. A ton is not 20 years like they say. It's really 5.4223 years. That's roughly rounding it up.
Well, I must say you've got your act together. I would like to expose you to some of my audience.
Absolutely. And anytime you want to take a pause from that and ask me a question about the future and anything in general.
In other words, you could literally tell us anything about the future?
You would be surprised.
I bet I would. I'm surprised.
Later on, I'll tell you something later on. If I forget, remind me. What is the president doing with the timeline recording? Now, I'll save that little nugget for later.
Timeline recordings?
That's a long story.
I see. All right, let me put you in touch with some of our audience. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with my man in black.
Yeah, this is Dave from Gary, Indiana.
Hi, Dave.
How you doing?
Well, I'm all right.
Yeah, we're kind of shocked tonight. The question I have is, what does the Phoenix incident have to do with all this, or does it have anything to do with all this?
I'm glad you asked. Man in black? Man in black? Where'd he go? Oh, we lost our man in black.
He dropped off, huh?
Oh, no, I did it when I came to you. Damn. He was good.
Ooh. I hope we can get him back.
Doggone it. Doggone it anyway. I forgot to push, I've got to push a conference button unless I've got a special guest set up, and he just came in, roaring in on my line. Oh, man.
I hope he calls back, because I'd be real curious to see what Phoenix is all about.
Total bummer. All right, look, when he calls back, I'm confident he will. It may be a while. I will ask that question for you.
Great, I appreciate it.
Oh, man. You see, normally when I have a guest, I put them on a very special line and then put a VIP lock on that line. Oh, I can't believe I did that. And on the line he was on, I could have conferenced him with other callers, but I screwed up. Oh, man, he was the best man in black so far, too. On my combo line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, this is, guess who?
Oh, you made it back.
Oh, man, you don't know what do you realize what I thought was going on?
Actually, I am suspicious of the fact that you were able to get back in at all.
I know, I can explain this.
That alone indicates a technology far surpassing that of the average caller.
Yes, and that machine was not what helped me do it. The machine, although I'm starting to wonder about it, is nothing more than a mere vacuum compression unit.
All right,
what do you call it, an air conditioner?
Yeah.
That's all it is. I was just turning it off occasionally.
I see. Oh, well, all right, that's very honest of you.
Did you got the right button this time?
I do. Now, but I am so disappointed. The man,
I really was afraid that somebody somewhere was coming after me on that one.
The man asked about Phoenix.
I heard that just a little bit.
Now, the Phoenix lights are one of the most confusing, hotly debated things in recent times. Can you tell us what you know about the Phoenix lights?
I know everything about them. I just don't know where to start. Where would you have me start?
Well, how about what the hell was it?
Okay, it was a carrier.
A carrier?
Yes. It's got these things inside of it. Small scout craft, you might say. I'm trying to translate this into English. It's quite difficult. But
it had, in other words, it just like from our terrestrial movie ID4, it could have...
Oh, like that. No.
No? Well, you said it had smaller scout craft, and motherships in ID4 had scout craft.
In ID4 they were so large.
That's true.
I'm thinking, no, not that large.
So, but the answer is, it was definitely a craft.
Oh, yes, and it was as big as they think it was. It was kilometers. Let's see here. Let's see, what is the translation? I think it'd say about 1.5 kilometers.
Why Phoenix?
Oh boy, I knew you was going to answer that. Ask that. That's the answer.
Yes.
Phoenix. I'm so glad somebody brought that up, or it could have middleman on that. Skip my mind, whatever you want to call it. Sooner or later, the truth has to come out.
Right.
It might as well be now. This is
Good. Let's do it right here on the radio.
This is the 12th year of the New Age, so it's as good a time as any.
It's about time. The people need to know.
It's a real doozy.
All right.
It starts, and I'll make a 30-second intro of the explanation and get to the main part.
All right. The second level question.
Okay. It begins in 1947.
The Roswell.
Right. Now, you know how that happened and all that. I don't have to go through any of that. I know everybody listening knows about it.
We've already done it, yes.
Right. Been there, done it. I could go into great detail, but... You know,
Please don't. Yes.
Okay. It was a kind of an earlier model of a scout craft. The main craft crashed in Paradise Valley to the north of Phoenix. And that too was staged. It was the thing going over, hold on a minute.
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
I'll turn that machine back on. The air humidity is too high in here. It'll affect this equipment.
All right.
Reactualize.
I can hear it. All right. Continue.
Now, I'm a cappuccino here. Gotta stay awake.
All right, now, I sense you're stalling here.
Oh, no. Really. I'm trying to put it in the proper order. The Paradise Valley crash in 1947.
Yes? Yes?
That was staged, and there was a survivor in it, although she is the one that is controlling the Man in Black now. Although she was a lower-ranking official at that time. And she was sent here to deliver a message to Earth about the New Age and everything. How, in short, we better get it all together before 1986 or it's all over. And she was thoroughly rejected as was her message, even though she met with the Majestic and it didn't do any good.
All right, you digress. We want to know why Phoenix.
Oh, you're asking why Phoenix?
Yeah, why Phoenix?
Phoenix Lights or Phoenix in general?
Why have this craft appear above Phoenix? I mean, it just, to a lot of people, it seems very strange that a craft like this would appear above a major metropolitan area.
The reason is they're trying to tell you that Phoenix is very important for the future. They're also trying to remind you, they're trying to, let me see if I can put this in more proper words. They're doing it at the time that they did it. Because on March 13th,
yes,
to us, on Earth, you might think it means nothing. But on their calendar that they're using, it means it was the first day of a particular month that they were using on their calendar. They chose that particular time to come here and try to sort of like remind people that Phoenix needs to be looked at again. And when later in time, when the correct number of decades has passed, there will be new information revealed when the government declassifies about the Paradise Valley crash of 47. People will look at this and they'll say, yes, they were trying to remind us to look back at Phoenix. They're trying to get you to look at it so you will discover the earlier stuff.
Well, I'm not sure that I'm fully satisfied with that answer.
Oh, there's more. There's much more.
There's got to be a second level.
Yes, there's many. I just don't, I mean, when it comes to Phoenix, there is a certain level of something that I can't really, I guess I'll just tell it all.
Please, I mean, we really, the people of Phoenix...
There's no point, after all, like I said, there's no point in holding back any longer.
Then let's have it.
The truth of the matter is, Phoenix is being prepared to be one of the provincial capitals of Earth.
Oh my God. Really?
The hierarchy is here doing it, and the Men in Black are trying, never mind, they're trying to cover up what the hierarchy is doing. The Women in Black are working very hard on this. There'll be a day when the Earth is split into provincial zones, and Phoenix will be one of the capitals. And in that time, they're going to arrange to, by that time, a little after that time, there'll be some things discovered on Mars, which will take us to explain the world of Atlantis in that time. And, you will be able to find out about things from the time of Atlantis.
So in other words, all of this is in some way connected to Phoenix. It is going to be a new capital.
No, it'll be a provincial capital.
Excuse me.
A sub-capital.
A sub-capital.
Then Washington will eventually, the plan is to move the capital of Washington officially to Helsinki, Finland.
Really?
Yes. But Washington will continue on as a quasi-important place. You know, even the British Empire is not existing anymore, but London is still important in its own way.
Is the compensation pay, whatever it is you get for being a man in black, good?
Very.
Very? One would expect so, particularly with your rank. All right, hold on a moment. We'll be right back.
We take you back to the past on Art Bell Somewhere in Time.
I've got a man in black, and I'm going to let him answer a few more questions. And then we're going to talk to a guy who says he manufactures and distributes time machines. Here we go. Our man in black is back. Are you there?
I'm here.
All right. We're going to have to ask you some rapid-fire questions because we got a time machine guy waiting. All right? First of all, somebody wants to know, what are crop circles?
Crop circles?
Yes.
They are intended, for the time being, all they want you to do is just copy them all down. Whatever you do, make sure you get a record of these things in their entirety. Get them in the correct order that they appeared in. And store them somewhere to where you can get to them later.
So what you're saying is later, at some point when we have enough of them stored in sequence, they'll all make sense?
No.
No?
But when you get the information brought back from, I guess I can say it, Cydonia, you will have the ability to put it all together.
Oh my God.
And I can tell you what year it is if you were interested.
Please.
Let's see, that would be dating from 2012 to, you'll get part of it before the revolution, but you'll have to wait till after 2021 for the rest of it.
Excuse me, revolution?
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a revolution?
Yeah.
When?
It begins in the year 2019.
And the revolution is?
No, 2018.
2018.
Yeah, August. No, September the 15th.
September the 15th.
2018.
And the revolution is going to be?
Be what?
Well, I mean, is it you're talking about a revolution in America, worldwide, cosmic, or what?
It's just in America. It's nothing much. It's just where you have about 4 presidents in 1 year, and it's nothing serious, really. It's resolved when you get a Canadian enforcement group that comes down and reorganizes the government. It's nothing really serious.
Did the Canadians come down and take control?
Oh, no, it's okay.
God, every fear I ever had is coming true.
They're part of the U.S. by then. You see, that's World War III is really tied into the revolution here.
World War III? You mean
yeah, but don't worry about it. It's not as bad as it sounds.
All right. Look, we're short on time here, so Wildcard Line, you're on the air with my man in black. Hello. Are you there?
Yeah. Can I use my chat room here?
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is Jermaine here in Houston.
All right.
I always want to say hi to everybody in the chat room. One thing, but I was wondering if you guessed anything about what was going to happen in the year 2000 on May the 5th.
Well, that would be the planetary alignment.
Well, I didn't want to tell him that.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'm sorry. Yeah, he already knows that he's a man in black. All right, so how about it?
Well, all that really is going to happen is that there's going to be a magnetic fluctuation in the magnetic alignment thing.
Yes.
And it's going to be pretty intense. But the interesting thing is that on that date, there's going to be a convenient solar flare. And when this solar flare happens, the government is going to explain it as just a solar flare, so don't worry about it. And meanwhile, they're going to have everything monitoring this. They're going to cover it up until after the revolution.
That's what they said last time. They said it's just a solar flare. Don't worry about it.
The last time?
Yeah, well, we had one on the east of the Rockies. You're on the air with my man in black. Hello.
Hello, Art. This is Greg from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
You had interviewed a man who read a book on the Man in Black, and he had told a story on how the Man in Black killed Barney Hill. And I want to know if it's true, and if it is true, why did they take him out?
Well, I seem to recall a story about a penny or some change in his hand, and they didn't kill him. They threatened.
They did not kill the doctor, but they said if
they said no. Stop. What they said was they made the coins in his hand literally disintegrate, and then they said this could happen to your heart.
And this is what we did to Barney Hill.
Yeah. And, I guess they did say that. Yes. So what about it, MIB?
Yeah, I even know the guy that said that and did that. He's Commander Kronar.
So that is an absolutely legit story.
Unfortunately, yeah, that was in the old days when they thought they could gain some kind of control through the CIA of America.
All right, listen, we've got to leave it there, but I really, really appreciate your call, and you are my...
I'd like to give you my number off the air.
Well, I'm the only one here. I don't have the facility to do that. You can fax it to me or email it to me, though.
No, I can't use those things because there may be a monitoring of the situation.
In that case, call me after I'm off the air.
Do you want to know what Clinton is doing with your timeline thing?
Oh, you're damn right I do.
He is taking it every morning after the timeline, and his experts are reversing it to see if they can hear reversals in the voice of the timeline callers to find out about the future.
What? Are you afraid of David Oates?
No. Why should I be?
So, if I were to sick David Oates on what you've just done, you wouldn't be in fear?
It's funny you should ask that. I was informed to ask you to do just that.
In other words, you have no fear at all of being reversed.
Not only do I have nothing to hide, but as the years go on, there is much more that I'm going to reveal. I may write a book even.
Wow.
It needs to be gotten out.
All right. All right. MIB, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Contact me off the air with your phone number, and we will pursue you. Well, that was pretty cool. A Man in Black. It sounded like he had his act together, didn't he? West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello there.
Radio's turned down.
That's good. You claim that you are the manufacturer and distributor of time machines.
Indeed, Mr. Bell. We've spoken a few times in the past. I've never revealed what it is that I do exactly. I'd like to call myself the founder for the purposes of our phone call this evening.
All right, I'll try and remember that, the founder.
The founder is a good way to go for now, although it may become more public in the future. Now, my time machines have a limited amount of history. They've been operating nationally and internationally for 6 years. They were first developed in 1991 in Colorado, and they were first distributed in Boulder. And you can now find people with my time machines in Boulder, in Phoenix, in California, in San Francisco, Santa Cruz, down in Los Angeles, as well as up in Eugene.
Why don't we hear about them?
Well, some things that are going to be around a long time. They don't take prominent stature for a period of time.
How much is your machine?
Well, I have distributed 60,000 of these machines one at a time over the planet in the last 6 years, ranging at a cost of from $100 to free.
$100.
$100 for the biggest, most intricate, and free for some of the smaller ones. I am creating a foundation.
What kind of tin machine could you get for free?
Well, one to help you, if you will recall, Art, back last year I spoke to you and I said, I have some information to send to you about how people cope with time.
Yes, I do remember that.
You remember that?
But I have a hard time contemplating any
You
machine.
never forget the truth. So when somebody says something like that, that's the truth, and they believe it, just like John Oates would say,
You bet.
that's why you remember it.
Yeah, but I mean free. I mean, what piece of cardboard? What could it be for free?
Well, what I have is a device that's handheld, is operable by any person with hands, and actually there's people without hands that have them as well, but just to prove me, if I say just hands, then of course the people with no hands are going to take offense. So
Is it basically an electronic device?
It may involve electric type energies, but our understanding of energy is kind of limited at this point. Like, for instance, the energy that makes our mind work. You know, we can measure it, but we haven't quantified it. Let me say this. My devices embody balance, unity, harmony, contrast, and order, as well as torque, cycle, process, friction, and leverage to enable a person to either go forward with their thoughts or go backwards with their thoughts. And I realized that you specified in the time machine line, only physical devices that transport people. That's why I called in on a different line.
In other words, your time machine is a mental adjunct.
It's a physical object. It is a handheld thing with moving parts interlocked into a combination that creates a frame of reference that is in excess of what we currently understand. I'm going to pop a phrase here that I've never heard anybody except me discuss. Here it is. It's CPT, Cyclical Process Technologies. They are going to change the way people look at time, because when you're standing in line, or you're in traffic, or you're on the bus, or you're downloading from your computer, circumstances are beyond your control.
Yes.
All people want in the world,
especially in traffic when you're behind somebody doing about 40 in a 45 zone.
in a geo. I'm just kidding. I've been listening for a while.
I can tell.
Yeah, and I could get in every night, literally. And I could prove it to you. I mean, I'd go 7 nights in a row if you want me to.
I don't like nasty cracks about geos. That's something I should tell you up front.
I do that, and that's kind of why I said it just as a little, but I took it back right away. I was just kidding. I don't have any problem with geos. They're a good car as far as the internal combustion engine is concerned. But really, we need to get beyond that, in my opinion. So, now here's the thing, Art. There's listeners to your show that recognize my voice, and they know exactly who I am, and they know because they have the machine in their pocket right now, standing behind the counter at the convenience store, sitting in the gas station in Las Vegas, right there, right on Monaco Boulevard. They're all over. They're all over the place. People will confirm my stories over a period of time.
That's fine.
Because they'll recognize my voice.
That's fine.
I want to send you one of my machines, and it could allow you to take control over some of the things that you've been working on for a while.
All right. How much difference in function is there between one that you would give away for free, something I find hard to believe, and one that costs $100?
Well, it has to do with intricacy, and it has to do with the method of operation. In the cyclical process technology realm, I have developed over 30 different devices that allow a person, through mind over matter, to achieve the passage of time.
All right, well, here's the thing. I've always worried about this with time travel, and that is that if you were to go way back into the past or way up into the future, there is no guarantee that you would not materialize inside something like a mountain, or where a building once was, or in the middle of a building, God help you, or something awful like that. And it seems to me that a free device is more likely to scatter you in that fashion. And for $100, it's worth making sure that you land in a relatively safe place.
Well, let me say, it's not so much the physical displacement that is okay. If I'm utilizing one of my devices and I choose to slip into a dimension that is not the same as the one that we physically occupy, made up by material atoms and whatnot.
Yes.
When I go there, I am not seeking to go to a specific place. I'm seeking to get away from the place that I'm at. Okay? So So that is where the paradigm is different for me from most other time machine people. You'll have a lot of people call in that say they built something in their backyard. That's not what I'm saying. The real brief, this is the longest I've ever been on the air, and frankly, I'm amazed at what me on this one. Although I realize what I'm saying is shocking and almost it's revelatory in nature.
It is.
Let me say this. In 1990, I was riding my bike. Okay. And my chain broke. And when I put the new chain on my bike, I had a couple extra links because it wasn't quite long enough to, or it was a little bit too long, pardon me, and I had the extra links. I put them in my pocket. I went off to my meeting, delayed and frustrated. And when I got to the meeting, I reached my pocket and I started playing with these couple links of chain. Now, just bear with me 1 second here. I took the 2 links, 1 pin link in the middle, so you have 2 pins, and then you have 4 rollers.
Right.
So 4 roller links. And I attached a key ring in through the middle of both of the roller links. So it created an object that I called a fidget there. It said the word fidget. Now, these fidgets, as you move it back and forth, it will never break, wear out, or fail. It will work the same for everybody, regardless of age, national or creed, religion. And I'll guarantee you that in the next coming weeks, you will get calls from fidget holders all over the country and maybe even all over the world, because I have some in 30 different countries.
Well, all right. What the fidget then is actually the device that allows this to occur. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's the first cyclical process technology object that will not break, fail, or wear out in a given lifetime.
Fine. Then what is a $100 fidget? I mean, I can now understand why a fidget would be basically inexpensive. Is your $100 fidget gold-plated or something, or what?
Picture a flexible structure that can lay flat, can curl up into a ball, and can change into any form or shape at will as the commander commands the thing to do, as you manipulate it with your hand. And then as you look at the object, and as you receive the light impulses that come off of them, it's quite soothing to your mind. You're able to relax and lose track of time, which enables you to get out of the painful time and move into, hopefully, a pleasurable time. And
what I have asked you, though, you did not answer.
I apologize.
In other words, it is a very simple device you have described. Labor-intensive.
It is the amount of work that I have to put into it. A little fidget, I can make 60 of them an hour. It's changed my whole economic picture. All right, I walk into a bike store, I get them all.
But I want to know, what is the difference between a free fidget and a $100 fidget?
Well, the $100 fidget specifically that I was thinking of when I said that took me 12 hours to build. The $1 fidget took me 15 seconds.
All right, that clears it up for me. I appreciate your call, and I'm going to now listen for others who are fidget holders and who can confirm or deny your story. I mean, you said I will hear from many, many people who have these fidgets, and we'll see. What a night. All right, we're going to break here. I've been asked to play this by so many people. I love this thing. You know what it is, don't you? The theme from the movie Top Gun.
You're listening to Art Bell, Somewhere in Time. Tonight featuring Coast to Coast AM from the 8th of August, 1997.
Good morning, everybody. We are back. Might have time. We're doing more or less nothing. It's Friday night, Saturday morning, and I'm sort of laying back. Now look, we've got one special line open for weirdness. Well, heightened weirdness. How about that? It's normally our first-time caller line, but tonight it is reserved for people in the following categories. Men in Black. We've already had several. Time travel.